When you meet his friend group and he not the leader, man, why are girls going on about a male friend group having a leader? We're not the Avengers. That is true. Ah, man, and he not the leader. Oh no, man, I hope he breaks up with your dumbass. In rural Texas, we posted a $14 an hour part-time cash container unloading job. No one showed up. Now our team of 2 is unloading 35,000 pounds of brain flakes themselves. Wild that $14 isn't enough these days. Pictures are old and for plush, but it gives you an idea. What? You're complaining that you had to take your own offer. Yeah, it's a shame that it's not enough for people these days. And I'm really mad that I have to work for that amount. Molson Hart, f*** you, dude. You. And I'm sorry to the editor that he already or she already has to bleep me this early in the video. But no, $14 an hour is not enough. It is not enough. It is not enough. Did you hear that? It is not enough. Sometimes I do respond to my fan mail. Can you tell me what a woman is? Someone who covers their drink when they see you in a bar. Oh, man. Oh, dude, that guy is dead. They are dead. At the risk of sounding like an ignorant fool, for I am to this as I have done no research, but to me, I feel like once you've had your puberty, once girls can menstruate and boys can ejaculate, you should be safe to procreate if you're perfectly healthy, even if logically that is completely the wrong time to do it. I mean, isn't it nature's way of saying you're ready to procreate? So why would nature say it's ready if it isn't? Why would nature give you a period if you weren't ready to procreate? I don't know, Jim. You came out of the womb with legs. Why didn't you walk out of the hospital? Oh man, that's... Okay, cool. Savior of the unborn. Okay, pal. Your grill is filthy, has poor temperature control, and for some idiot reason, has the heating element below the food so fat drips onto it and catches fire. There's a better way to cook. In your kitchen. Admit it. Grilling is bad. My favorite genre of article is, you know this thing that people famously loved for countless generations? Join me, a random white guy, in my shocking expose on how that thing objectively sucks. I haven't read the article, and I never will. I can already tell this is a guy who invites people over for a barbecue and cooks Boca burgers in the oven. Or the article is just clickbait, and he goes, just kidding, it's really cool, which is just as lame, in my opinion, you know? Okay, that's great. What a loser. Excuse me, sir. You dropped this at Elon Musk. You gifted a picture of a fucking toy crown to a friendless billionaire. If this were any more pathetic, I'd start you a GoFundMe. That is quite sad. Who the hell goes out to eat to celebrate a dead person's birthday? People who were loved? Absolutely ruthless response. Oh, damn, what a good day. If a website puts flags next to the language options, which flag should it be for English? All right, let's see what we have here. I think they should show the American flag. After all, the Brits can read the words, but the Americans need a picture. That is incredibly true. I really do appreciate that. What, were you expecting me to make some sort of joke there? No. Why would I do that? YouTuber I don't give a rat's ass addressed her grooming allegations while playing a ukulele in a new video. Stop playing A minor. That's how you got here in the first place. Probably one of the most ridiculous missteps I've ever seen someone take. The level of stupidity on display is phenomenal. Fun fact, if you rearrange the letters in Delta and Omicron, you get media control. You also get erotic almond. What's your point? We can arrange words to say other words a lot, Laverne Spicer. What the hell are you trying to say? I know what you're trying to say. You're really smart and we're all fucking stupid. Do you remember when you were growing up? Do you remember how simple life was? How easy it felt? It was about faith, family, and country. Shut the actual fuck up. No, it wasn't. We can have that again. But to do that, we must vote Joe Biden out. Screw you, Nikki. I was born in 1949. When I was a kid, segregation was legal. There were lynchings. Being gay was illegal. There were no vaccines for mumps, measles, and chickenpox. I had them all. Everyone was scared shitless of nuclear war. So yeah, screw you. You can usually tell who the rich person is when they talk about, you remember how absolutely flawless and perfect being a kid was? How easy it was? Yeah, it's because you had cash. Imagine if the right wing and left wing got together to fight corruption. I know many on both sides will say that you cannot work with those monsters, and you must not be naive. Yes, I understand. But what if we got together just once to screw the establishment? What if the Puppy Kicking Foundation and the Anti-Puppy Kicking League got together to fight puppy kicking? Man. Do Dude was road raging from the reports and pulled a gun. 2 counts of aggravated assault is a bad look for us responsible gun owners. I'm sure he was responsible right up to the point where the rage took over. That's the thing. You guys are all responsible until something triggers you, and then you're not, and then you have a lethal weapon. Buddy, because they cut me off. But I guess I'm just built different. Where's the closest swingers club to us? I know we used to have the Champagne Club that has since shut down, but I was wondering where I would find one? I'm sure Indianapolis has some, but I'm hoping there are some slightly closer options nearby. I did some research, and the nearest place for random sexual encounters appears to be your mom's house. Dude just walked right into that one. Fact, God has never made a single drop of alcohol. What do you mean? What? The earth has never produced a single drop of alcohol. 100% of all wine and alcohol is manufactured by fallen men. Nothing good ever comes out of alcohol. What does the Bible say about alcohol and social drinking? Oh, by the way, Jesus turned water into wine. Source, the goddamn Bible. Well, people like this have never even read the Bible. You know that, right? They don't know anything at all. Hey, girly, I've been following your profile for a while, and I must say you are gorgeous. One girl to another, though. Some of the selfies you posted are looking kind of different from the others. All that food you post looks tasty AF, but not so tasty on the hips. I can help you shed those extra 5 to 10 pounds and get you beach ready. What? It happens to the best of us. Please circle where I need to lose weight. Do mine, and I'll do yours. Wow, rude. I thought I'd message you to help, but you're just a bitch. I'm a busy mom. I don't have time to live at the gym like you. You're a busy mom, that's for sure. You also don't mind your own goddamn business, and you comment on other people's bodies for no goddamn reason. I can help you shed those extra pounds. How can you help them shed the extra pounds when you yourself admit that you don't have time to live at the— How do you know? How do you know how to shed them extra pounds? You're trying to sell supplements. Hey, what's Winnie the Pooh's favorite color? Yellow. No, it's red because of his shirt. No, it's yellow because he loves honey. You have no idea what you're talking about. Then Pooh says, yellow, like honey. That's my favorite color. See, this guy's read the Bible. They're not getting paid. Screw internships. OP never said it was an unpaid internship. Internships are unpaid. Not always? Why is that a question, dude? I personally have several friends doing paid ones right now. That's not an internship. It's a job with more steps. You can't just redefine internships to only include the bad ones and then claim they're all bad. That would be like me redefining Reddit users to only include you and then claiming that all Reddit users are dumb r/anti-work members that don't know what an internship is. Damn straight, that's exactly the same, boy. I will always love you. That's Whitney, babe. Imagine not knowing that Dolly wrote, sang, and released I Will Always Love You first, and that Whitney's version was just a cover. Do your research, babe. And by the way, didn't she actually sell the song to Whitney Houston? It wasn't just like a regular cover, was it? She actually sold some sort of rights to her to do that? And didn't she also say something along the lines of, the song is hers now, once she heard her rendition? Dolly Parton's the shit, okay? That's all there is to it. About 10 years of piping experience. Honestly, though, whenever I do a cake like this, I give myself an entire day to pipe, literally a whole day, okay? That way I can work on stuff and redo the cake as many times as I want. I got 10 years of experience piping your mom. Sir, this is a baking subreddit. It was an intrusive thought. I respect your honesty. Nice. Beautiful interaction. I don't approve of tattoos. Mainly it is written in the Christian Bible not to mark your body. I love you, Dwayne, but this is the only thing I do not approve of. It's your choice, of course. Lovin' the rock. It also says not to pierce your ears or get a divorce. But one click on your profile shows you obviously pick and choose which parts of the Bible fit your agenda. It is kind of funny. See, why do you get to pick and choose which parts of it you follow? I'm a little confused by that. Isn't there something in there about not wearing different fabrics together and shrimp is evil? Something weird like that? I don't know, it's the Bible. There's a lot of weird crap going on in there, dude. Andrew Tate left, and his brother Tristan were first arrested at their Bucharest home in December. Ironically, Andrew Tate could groom others, but not himself. Yeah, he definitely shaved all his hair off just because he liked it that way. For sure, dude. Liked by who cares? I don't cook, I don't clean, but let me tell you how I got this ring. On your knees, on your back, rubbing on some old man's sack. All right, man. Breaking news. U.S. births declined for the 6th straight year in 2020 as the pandemic accelerated a trend that has been building for the last decade. It's almost like if you saddle a generation with massive debt, then hit them with the second economic crisis of their working lives, while simultaneously showing how little your society cares about children or caregiving, they'll make choices accordingly. Yes, almost like, it's a weird idea. It's a weird idea that I don't want to bring a child into this, sports at all, and that I'm not rich enough to do so. What a wonder. Sports bar that doesn't subscribe to the sports channels on TV. Had to go somewhere else to catch our game. Kyle, you gave 3 downtown Tampa restaurants a 1-star review the night you were looking for whatever the game was that you wanted to watch. Seems like maybe the restaurants weren't the problem. A previous review of yours gave Domino's Pizza a 5-star review. Perhaps a better solution would have been ordering delivery from a major corporate chain to your hotel and streaming the game on your phone rather than trying to make small businesses look bad because no one else wants to subscribe to a sports package just to watch the Winnipeg Jets play. Just a thought. Safe travels. I do hate that. It's just some petty rating bullshit, you know? A technicality? Cool. This restaurant is worthless and you should never come here. I took my 11-year-old daughter to get a drink at Starbucks. We watched an incredibly handsome construction worker walk across the parking lot and into the store. Do you know what that little girl said to me? I don't know what he fixes, but mine is broken. What if it was your 11-year-old son who said that about a young woman who walked into the store? I thought we were teaching boys not to objectify girls. Or does that only apply to boys? You know, the more I go along in life, the more I realize that it is a one-way street, isn't it? At least that's how it seems to be treated. In Brazil, we usually don't change classrooms for every class. Generally, the teachers come over. That's simpler, I think. Yeah, but you might get murdered because you live in Brazil, so that's a trade-off. And there's absolutely no way you can get murdered in an American school, especially in mass. No. That's not something that ever happens here. Call me Sis to my face and see what happens. You'll go on a podcast and cry about it for an hour? Yeah, I do enjoy that Mr. B. Peterson, Mr. Jadordan Peterson, is acting like he's gonna try and kick your ass. He can't even kick the ass that is the mess in his office. What's he gonna do to me? Thank goodness they weren't from Philly, or she'd have yet another catastrophe on her hands. Is it catastrophe or catastrophe? I don't know. Before you give Philly any more remember this. Everywhere you've lived has been the setting of a Fallout game. What? Okay. There's no harm in leaving it a week or two to get a better picture. Though it is possible to get a good guess early based on the distance between anus and dot. A skill you can learn, much more subtle than nipples, vagina, or not. Please don't gender your rats. Rats are not interested in the petty social constructs of gender. I want to know which ones have cocks and which ones have vaginas so I can separate them. Settle your social justice horses down. They are right, though. Rats aren't usually interested in our petty constructs of gender. I mean, come on. They're free of that, at least. I have tons of female friends I don't pursue sleeping with? Like, they're just cool people, not leads for my next hookup. So, you're the obligatory nice guy, huh? LOL. Hope you find perpetual friend zone hell enjoyable. LOL. Tell you what, I'll sit here and enjoy having good, well-rounded friendships with both genders, and you can wither away alone with no one to care but the people you share misery with. Have a fun one there, pal. Projection. Why the hell are we giving homeless people food and money from my hard-earned taxes? I work hard. My money should go to things that benefit everyone, not some deadbeat on the streets who will probably waste it anyway. God, that sure is a despicable way of looking at it, especially considering how many homeless people are veterans. And I bet you are all about the veterans, right? No, probably not. You're a piece of shit. It is actually considered inhumane to deny the world's worst criminals from having food and shelter, but at the same time, you have a problem with whether our homeless and impoverished population deserves support. Child molesters are getting 3 hots and a cot on your tax dollars, and you're perfectly okay with that. But see that starving single mother and her children down the street? They should just work harder. Heaven forbid your taxes go to support them. Charity? Don't know what you're talking about. You need to get your head out of your ass, and then get your head out of some billionaire asses as well. You're not some side hustle away from joining the billionaire club. To them, you and that single mother on the street are both peons. Stop sucking up to the people who don't give a shit about you. Yeah, I've always wondered about people that are obsessed with billionaires when they think, you know, one crocheting side gig is going to make them part of that club. 9 times out of 10, actually 9.999999999 times out of 10, no, you ain't gonna be there. You're not even gonna make it to millionaire. Why are you being this type of person? Quit being a dick. It is inhumane and nasty. Not the problem. Since getting Twitter Blue, my follower rate has in fact gone close to 0. This, when the promise was my content would surface to the top of comments, etc. This is not happening. Shit that floats to the top of the toilet bowl is still shit. Oh, and they paid $8 to be a turd. It's a real shame our Aussie friends were forced to give up their arms. It's a real shame that kids in Australia don't even know what active shooter even means. Thanks for your concern, America, but we don't want to be you. Most don't. I wonder why. Men and women are different and therefore cannot be equal. 1 + 4 = 2 + 3. What? Damn, bravo. Beautifully said and not using a single word. God, absolutely fantastic. Thank you, Snowflakes, for helping my song go #1. Oh, wait, it's this guy. If by Snowflakes you mean the marketing department of his label using the contrived culture war as a coercive tool to drum up controversy using a statistically insignificant few takes on the song being racist, mobilizing both the indignant anti-woke right and the sane people who are just curious about the controversy, then yeah, the Snowflakes did it. Also, I love this whole try that in a small town thing. It's just more dudes with tiny dicks who constantly wish they could kill someone. Again, hoping to do that is incredibly not freaking normal. I wish we could choose our baby fathers. Someone come tell her before I do, because I'm gonna hurt her feelings. Oh, Jesus. They made Barbie a man-hating woke propaganda fest. They teach Barbie fans about rising up against the patriarchy, and Ken is portrayed as beta and borderline... grow up. It's a horror show. How beta is it for you to waste time and effort crying over a Barbie movie? No heavily menstruating, perimenopausal, PMS-addled woman in the world cries and moans as hard as you sorry-ass right-wing insufferable twats do. The f***ing Barbie movie. but Ken the beta movie not what I want. Call out post to NASA. Why aren't you exploring the ocean? It's literally right underneath us. You can send a robot 1,000,000 miles into space looking for aliens. Yeah, that's what they do. But not into the giant void that takes up the majority of the Earth we live on. Please, I'm scared. Which part of National Aeronautics and Space Administration has you confused? A lot of people have never even heard the word aeronautics. Please stop saying Native Americans are Mexican. They fought Mexico. If Mexicans are indigenous people like they claim, why don't Mexicans speak the native tongue? Why Spanish? And why don't Native Americans speak Spanish? Cue the Jeopardy music. Mexicans speak Spanish for the same reason Native Americans speak English, you dumbass colonizer. Does anybody want to know why? Does anybody know why? Here, re-cue the Jeopardy music for a second. Bagpipes don't belong in Metallica. James would not approve. This guy doesn't speak on our behalf. You're awesome. Man, you don't deserve to be a fan of somebody when you try and assume what they like or would approve of. Just don't. You don't f***ing know them, dude. Not now, sweetie. Daddy's ratioing the police. Strike 3. You're going for bail. A female was arrested today after she was caught for the 3rd time this month stealing from the same retail store. She was held for bail to prevent her from continuing to re-offend. Nobody shoplifts pizza pockets and pancake mix for the thrill of it. Instead of posting photos like you just made a major drug bust, maybe connect this person with some support so they don't need to steal their f***ing groceries. Yeah, food is incredibly expensive across the board, but
you go, Mr. Policeman. You got her. You totally got her good.
A key that can open every lock is a master key. A lock that cannot be opened with every key is a useless lock. A sharpener that sharpens many pencils is a good sharpener. A pencil that needs to be sharpened by a lot of sharpeners is just a shitty pencil. Your analogy is just as shitty as mine because genitals have absolutely nothing in common with household objects. Quit sticking your dick into locks just because it fits? Has this guy been trying to lockpick by sticking his penis in places? I don't think that's how that works. YouTuber Mr. Beast promotes his role in Teenage Mutant Needle Teetle's Mutant Mayhem on Instagram, crossing the SAG-AFTRA picket line during the actor's strike. False. This is a contract I signed pre-strike and was legally obligated to promote. This falls under the exceptions they have outlined. Regardless, to make my support clear, I'll make a donation later tonight. Yeah, nice fucking try. Everyone's really going after this guy for really weird stuff, but this one felt incredibly strange. I think he had one line. I missed it when I watched this movie. I thought it was a lie. I legitimately did not remember seeing or hearing any Mr. Beast-esque anything in the entire damn movie. And yeah, legally obligated to promote it via contract that was made before the strike and had outlines written in there. Nice try. Too bad you're gay now. I used to love your content back in the day. Well, that's just part of growing up. Nothing stays the same. I've always been gay. You've enjoyed a lot of stuff from gay creators. No one's changed, just what you and your bigoted mindset projected onto others. Hope you learn to cope with that in your life, because you deserve to find the happiness that I have. How sweet. You're a true culinarian. How many years of experience did it take you to figure out how to fry a freaking hot dog? Well, I've been a chef for 13 years now and a writer for 6. Took me a few minutes to learn how to properly fry one, then another 6 or so before I got off my high horse, stopped judging people, and realized that even simple, trashy foods have a place in the culinary landscape, and a very delicious place it is indeed. Looks like you may still have a few years of growing up to do before you arrive there. Food's about making people happy, not about making yourself feel superior. This is an astoundingly sick burn. Love your work, also love when people try to put down others who have no idea who they are trying to put down. Love the Food Lab. Welcome to Reddit. Yeah, I've always enjoyed food snobs that think that just because it is a lower grade or lower quality food that it's completely worthless. Like, come on. You just know. You absolutely know that Gordon Ramsay has a Twinkie every decade. You know what I mean? That gets into the mind, man. And I know that people like Gordon Ramsay, they've got sensitive palates and they can't go around eating Hot Pockets and stuff. But come on, look at how the man made grilled cheese. Some people overcomplicate stuff quite a bit and then realize that there's nothing wrong with some crappy food. Look at Anthony Bourdain when he went to Waffle House. He was like, this is awesome. It's low-grade crappy stuff made by someone who's not paid enough and it tastes goddamn astounding, all right? Your taxes funded lizards on a treadmill. Pay less in taxes. For once, I wish an example of bad tax practices would not involve a random science experiment taken out of context. How about your taxes funded the death of millions of people by funding politicians who spout anti-science rhetoric, which inadvertently led to people mismanaging a pandemic? That sounds like something we could defund? Yeah, it's called propaganda. That's what they're doing. It is called propaganda, and none of us are immune to it, okay? If you're going to believe everything you read, then start with your Bible, okay? Sure, Kathy. Timothy chapter 1 verse 11 through, no, chapter 2 verse 11 through 12. That's how it's done, right? Anyway, a woman should learn in quietness and full submission. I do not permit a woman to teach or assume authority over a man. She must be quiet. Now be quiet. The irony. Yeah, Kathy. Natalie Portman shows off impressive transformation into female Thor. Don't remember reading about a female Thor in Greek mythology. That might be because Thor is from Norse mythology. Yeah, nice try, dipshit. 9-line apparel. The Civil War wasn't about slavery until the Union started losing. What? Lincoln needed to gain the support of the Northerners somehow, so he made a political move to include slavery. Otherwise, the people would have forced Lincoln to stop the unpopular war. Many Southern generals couldn't have cared less about slavery or fighting for it. Fact. So, I'm taking it you have a degree in history with a focus on American history during that time period? Because I do, and that's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard. And it sucks that you have fewer people apparently agreeing with you than the dip that you responded to. Isn't that great? Being prepared as virgin sacrifice. Me. You're making a mistake. I do the sex all the time. Shaman stops his ritualistic chanting. Name the one who takes your seed. Your mother. Uh-oh. Tip. If you think somebody's given you a fake number, read it back to them incorrectly and see if they correct you. Tip. If you're a man and you think a woman has given you a fake number, leave her the hell alone. It's really not hard to do. Oh boy, it's J.K. Rowling. Awesome. It was recently discovered that those given transfusions of blood from the opposite sex had poorer outcomes, including fatalities. Stumbled across this fact while researching my book, Troubled Blood. Hi, used to work at a blood bank. This is not a thing. Do better research for your book, you turf piece of shit. I mean, seriously, what is she even talking about?
Do your research! Do your research, please! Just look it up once, I swear to God!
Get pregnant. You'll find out who your real friends are. I promise you that. I just feel like there are steps you can probably take before this one. Yeah, because maybe getting pregnant and having a baby just to figure out who your real friends are is incredibly disgusting and fucking nasty to that child once it grows up and you tell them that that's the only reason they were born. Or, you'll try to keep it a secret, but it won't fucking work. Good job. Definitely the best reason to have kids. Am I the only one that doesn't like to see a lady's pant liners? This wardrobe malfunction is a turnoff for me. What if turning you on isn't every woman's goal? Yeah, no one asked for your opinion on anyone's fashion whatsoever. No one on earth could care less. They actually cannot care any less than they do about your opinion of anyone else. You're a loser. What are British comedies? Love Island? If you want a good British comedy, look up the title of your favorite US show and type UK after. You'll be able to watch the funnier original. I mean, 9 times out of 10, that really is the case, but I feel like there were slight improvements on certain ones. Which ones? I'm not gonna tell you, because now it's started an argument. Oh boy. Should we tell Netflix how this ends? Netflix plans to open brick-and-mortar locations. I'm sure they do. Nigerian men are actually more stingy than... Okay. You must have begged across countries to figure this out. I celebrate you. You know what I celebrate? All the new merch over at EmKayshop.com. Ryanair. Oh boy. I'll bring my own stairs next time. Bring your own plane next time, too. Isn't this the company where the dude said that if he could, he would get rid of all the... all the seats and charge everyone like $1? What are your best MD shows up on scene moments? I have two. My partner was part-time from another service and is known for controlling his scene. We have a mass casualty MVC, and I was in one car treating, waiting for extrication, and a gloved hand touched my shoulder. I said, "Don't you ever touch me with a glove." "Oh, hey, Doug." It was my medical director. He said, "Do you need help?" I said, "No, I'm good, but check on my boy that's intubating that guy next to the transmission in the road." What? "Hey, T, this is so weird to read. I'm sending you our medical director." He's like, "Thanks for the warning. I would have cussed him." Same intersection, multiple patients, and question gets asked, who was that lady helping everyone? Well, she was the chief of emergency medicine at the nearest hospital on her way to an anniversary dinner with her husband, and now she's in the back of an ambulance because your husband's dumbass doesn't know how to yield. I feel like I should take a screenshot of this story and post it in this subreddit. I have no idea what's going on. Decriminalize all drugs? So when a violent crime is committed by someone high on drugs, for instance, driving high in vehicular homicide occurs or going into a violent rage while on the law has its hands tied and the victim of the crime has less rights than a drug user? What? Where'd you get that from? Exactly. When they legalized alcohol, we literally stopped arresting people for driving drunk. You can actually kill someone while drunk and they can't even arrest you. Just say, alcohol is legal, and they have to let you go. Climate change denier gets demolished. Oh, I bet. Remember when they spent years telling us to panic over the hole in the ozone layer and then suddenly Oh, yeah, I've seen this one before. What happened is scientists discovered chlorofluorocarbons, I hope I'm saying that one right, were bad for the ozone. Countries believed them. The Montreal Protocol was signed and CFC use fell by 99.7%, leading to the stabilization of the ozone layer. Perhaps the greatest example of global cooperation in history. Oh man, I know Matt can kind of read, but if he did get around to reading this response, I'm sure that his reaction would have been, "Yeah, you're wrong, though. That's not real. I see the trans profile pic. OP really thought real life was Reddit. Holy crap. Looking at your comment history, you're the most desperate, fragile individual I have seen on this app. You're so obviously in pain. Even the slightest hint of criticism sends you into a rage spiral. It's not a loop, it's a spiral. Every opinion you express is always the most hyperbolic, cartoonishly spiteful version of your position you could possibly come up with. Millions of people go through what you go through every day, and the majority of them still manage to act like halfway decent people. Wouldn't it be nice to have people actually want to be around you? It's not beyond your ability to make that happen." Oh, great. Love seeing that face again. Yesterday, I went undercover at Kent State to ask students what they think about the Kent State gun girl. Surprisingly, no one recognized me until I took the glasses off. You're not undercover if no one knows who you are in the first place. And I distinctly remember, I think it was in the video, where she took off her disguise and they still had no idea who the f she was, because no one gives a rat's ass. No one ever did. What's Fortnite? Call me on the telephone. I'll give you a million reasons to play you and I. Who are you? I mean, hey, look, the man answered, Gaga, or Stephanie. I don't know how you really prefer to be addressed. Is that the right term here? Nepo baby McCain gets schooled by Georgetown professor. I'm shocked you were admitted. You're a professor at Georgetown? LOL. What pieces of shit are in higher education teaching our kids right now? It's so hideous it's actually insane. Yes, I've written several well-regarded books, none of them piggybacking on my parents. I went through something called a job search and then something called promotion review twice. All processes governed by what's called professional standards. Info available online. Ooh. You know how to find an atheist? They'll tell you. Yeah, those atheists wearing their atheist necklaces and atheist earrings and building gigantic atheist monuments and congregating to yell out loud about how much they love atheism. I do that. I do all of that. You don't go to atheist church? I mean, come on, man. Let me guess. The guy who responded here with this little blurb is probably an atheist. Apparently, OP doesn't have Google. Lazy posters are lazy. And your last post was asking for help finding a guitar within your $600 price range. So... yeah, that's kind of weird. On somebody for being too lazy to Google when what you need help with is the easiest thing you can Google. Islam is a lie. I'm an ex-Muslim. Jesus is the only way. Damn, what sect were you part of? All right, those are food dishes. Yeah, I'm not gonna try and read them, but yeah, nice try. Girl looking like Greta Thunberg, so that kind of explains everything. Greta's desperately trying to move out of your head, but the rent is unbeatable, dude. Not only do masks reduce your O2 and increase your... wow, I still can't believe that anybody in their right mind is saying anything this stupid still. These tweets are probably from a couple of years ago, but nonetheless, wow. Which makes you wheeze or gasp, but they also provide warm, damp breeding grounds for pathogens to breathe in. That will progressively make you ill. For those who want more respiratory illnesses, job done. Man, the amount of doctors and surgeons that die from using them is insane. Absolutely none of that is true. And your exact qualifications for stating that are a degree in medicine and fellowship of the Royal College of Anesthetists, for which I was examined in respiratory physiology and the mechanics of gas transfer. What are yours? I Googled, and then my uncle on Facebook told me. Taxation is theft and the military keeps us safe. Get over it. Did you just advocate for the military and denounce taxation in the same breath? Do you think the military runs on Duncan? That's what I always thought, man. $800 billion worth of Duncan every year. That's a lot of donuts. Does your door don't have... Wait, hold on. Let me try that one more time, because this is clearly written perfectly. Does your doors don't have locks? Does your English haveth good? You speak English because it's the only language you know. I speak English because it's the only language you know. We are not the same. Woo! Got him. Hi there. Sorry for the delayed response. I wasn't feeling well. Let me know if you're interested in seeing me. I can do $1,000 to screw you raw outside the rest of the night. You seem like the type of guy that... Alright, oh my god, there's a lot more. You seem like the type of guy that drives an older Honda Civic slammed with the loud exhaust. Favorite movie is definitely Fight Club. You got a small handful of close friends that you've been friends with since elementary school, so they're constantly telling people, oh, that's just how he is. He's harmless. They're constantly apologizing for you everywhere you go, and none of your friends that are... Jesus, crop it better. And none of your friends that are in serious relationships can have you over anymore or hang out with you because you're such a douchebag. I have no idea what just transpired. Boys literally have zero excuses for not having communication skills because I've seen y'all play video games together and you describe where you're at like it's life or death. That's because our teammates actually communicate back. It wouldn't work as well if we said, hey Jason, are you pinned down? And he responded with, don't worry about it, it's fine. You should have been over here anyways, but whatever, I'm not upset or anything. Right. Allah and Ram? And Ram? Is it Ram? I don't care. Are comic book characters. They're not real. Dude, how can Allah be a comic book character if he isn't allowed to be drawn in any way, shape, or form? Oh boy. CPI, X-Food, Energy, Shelter, and Used Car... Okay. The war on inflation is over. We won at very little cost. It's a good thing that we don't need food, energy, or shelter to live. I will never understand how humans are at the top of the food chain or ever became the top of the food chain. Regardless of technology, we're pretty dumb and awful. The female mind, the beta mind, and the liberal mind are all the same. None of them can comprehend the levels of alpha male in this one photo. Every woman within 100 miles of this photo just covered her drink. Yeah, look, I'm the whitest guy I know, and even my cheeks don't turn bright red whenever I'm doing whatever this is. Taking a selfie? Come on, pumpkin. You don't need to be embarrassed. I think my favorite quote tweet for this, I do not know who said this, but if they're watching this video, you're a genius, where they said, I guarantee you if a balloon popped within 40 feet of this group of guys, at least 2 of them would scream. It might be circular, but all definitions are circular in a way, so I don't really care. If anything, the analytic side of defining truth is the less controversial one. What do you mean by circular? By circular, I mean circular. Okay, and what do you mean by circular? Like, you understand this is not clever, right? This is, what is that word? Sophistry or sophistry? What does that mean? I'm stupid. Because elements typically end in ium. American grammar rules are weird, he said, speaking American. It's called English and it was created in Britain. What? Honey, you need to use my tweezers to find your Oh, sweetheart. I'm a grown man with a beautiful wife and kids, so little insults have zero effect on me. But if you'd ever like to send those tweezers over, I'd gladly pluck out a couple of pubes so you can sprinkle them on your head where your hairline used to be. Now, kindly crawl out of my DMs, you White Walker. Jeez, dude. Holy crap. Believe what you see, not what you're told. Okay, I've been told you're a genius, but I've only ever seen you behave like a f***ing moron. Yeah? Dude? Oh, that fall from grace is is beautiful. He's probably one of the most embarrassing people I've ever seen in my life. And I exist. I have to see myself in the mirror every day. If you Catholic mofos were really so interested in God's design, you'd develop a theological appreciation of beetle biology. We really just say anything on here, huh? British evolutionary biologist and geneticist J.B.S. Haldane quipped that if a god or divine being had created all living organisms on Earth, then the creator must have an inordinate fondness for beetles. Beetles, or all that fun stuff, account for a greater number of species than any other single group of living animal. Approximately 1 out of every 4 species on Earth is a beetle. Holy crap, that's I don't even want to verify that. Even if that's bullshit, I'm just gonna choose to believe it, you know? Willful ignorance. Lady Mandalorians have boob armor? Oh, come on, seriously? You're right. Armor should totally be manufactured exclusively to fit a male body, and women should cram uncomfortably into it. Because denying your own body contours to achieve a male-inspired standard is somehow consistent with feminist ideals. Oh, it's Sarkeesian. Okay, haven't seen that name in a while. What's your address? I'm spending the night. 4351 Pasadena Avenue. That's the animal shelter. Yeah, they take in strays, not me. Good night. Okay. Oh, this one seems like it's gonna be interesting. Got on the Glasgow subway at Byers Road to the south side, but I couldn't work out if I was going in the right direction. Never fear, there's a sign inside the coach. Only it's in Gaelic, and me, like 99% of the population, can't read or speak it. This advertisement is for a website relating to the Gaelic language and learning Gaelic. However, the original poster has chosen to crop this out. If I managed to get on the wrong train on the Glasgow subway, I would simply not criticize any decision anyone else had ever made for the rest of my life. Under an announcement of Nightshade, a software that's supposed to poison datasets used for generative AI. Alright? You're trying to destroy the efforts of countless AI researchers and feeling smug about it. Blocking human progress. It's not human f***ing progress to benefit the individual, and you have the audacity to virtue signal. You're crying that somebody put hot sauce in the lunch you stole from the work fridge. Down with generative AI. Down with it. I don't care. I would love to see every major studio, gaming or not, go completely motherfucking bankrupt if they absolutely refuse to budge on AI replacing people. They want it to replace people. They don't want it to be a tool. They want it to replace the workers almost entirely, or to whatever extent they can as soon as possible, because it saves them 2 extra cents a year. Impressing stunt by Red Bull? Impressing? Nah, he had way too much clearance on that landing for it to be impressive these days. Not sure what the boat has to do with anything either. Brave words for someone who only tastes adrenaline when he grabs the last slice of pizza before anyone else. Come on, how does that have a downvote? That's pathetic. How does that... Ugh, so lame, dude. That is a cool stunt. I don't give a shit. But no, let's upvote that douchebag. Sure. Pretty sure our entire culture is heterophobic. Right. Yeah, I can't tell you how many people yell at my wife and I for holding hands. We hold it together most days. But when our families kidnapped us and put us into a conversion camp, I just broke down and finally accepted into me the Trinity of God and the Holy Spirit. That's the dumbest comment I've ever read in my life. Our entire culture is heterophobic. People like this guy will do anything to feel or be oppressed. You are not. You are absolutely not. Straight people have never been oppressed at large. That's not how that works. That's never been the case. At least not over here in the US. But man, being anything but, woo! Yeah. Torture. Have you ever wondered why the Wikimedia Foundation wants so much money? It certainly isn't needed to operate Wikipedia. You can literally fit a copy of the entire text on your phone. So, what's the money for? Inquiring minds want to know. The Wikimedia Foundation is a charitable nonprofit providing free access to Wikipedia. While a text and English-only copy of Wikipedia is about 51 gigabytes, including all media and supported language, totals 428 terabytes. In 2022, Wikimedia had $154 million in revenue, with $145 million in expenses. Yeah, it's only one of the most valuable things we have ever created with the internet. It genuinely is. I consider Wikimedia and Wikipedia to be, well, at this point, a utility. It's something that we should all have a right to at this point. It really is. And I know there's a bunch of people out there, our teachers included, that say, it's a terrible source. Not the sources, though, because Wikipedia has to use sources. And I don't know, the people that are monitoring that are pretty good. Honestly, you can change any page to something incredibly stupid, and then 14 microseconds later, some dude named Youradipshit451 will have it completely erased and put back to what it was before you can take your next breath. It's insane. Elon, go actually f*** yourself, you freak. I'm so tired of your whiny bitch bullshit. ChatGPT's performance over previous natural language machines is certainly not trivial, but it passing an MBA exam, among other assessments of those pages, is hardly a surprise or even a reason to catastrophize the situation in the way people have been doing for the last month or so. You are so misinformed and yet so confident. I'm an actual research scientist in AI, and I can tell you ChatGPT's performance is a staggering leap forward. Prior language models made very little progress on long-form question answering and understanding, even when trained on the exact dataset the questions were drawn from. ChatGPT was trained on the entire internet and is able to not only understand complex questions, but give high-quality answers consistently. This is a massive step forward and unlocks entirely new industries. The methods they develop, fine-tuning self-supervised language models, using learning from human feedback alone are a huge deal. Just because you're contrarian doesn't mean you're right. Now, there's always going to be contrarians to everything. They don't mean anything. Reminder that acne doesn't make you ugly, a heart full of hate does. I'm sure I'd feel the same way if I was a skinny white girl with blue eyes and blonde hair. This girl posted a picture featuring her cystic acne uncovered, something that's extremely stigmatized, in order to make a statement and spread positivity. That's it. That's all she did. She didn't say she was the face of people with acne or act like she has it harder than other people. She shared a feature that I'm sure she's been shamed for and has struggled to love. She's literally 17 years old and you're 27. Stop being a d- to kids when they haven't done anything wrong. Yeah, as someone that grew up with really, really bad acne and still to this day suffers from other things like eczema that shows up in really weird spots, how about you go f*** yourself? Did you just compare sodomy to eating pork? This theologically is actually fine because all sin is equal in God's eyes. All of it's equal? Well, that doesn't make much sense. All of it's equal? Every single sin. It's just all under one umbrella. Okay, wait a minute. I murder my neighbor. Okay, sin. I eat the wrong type of food. Okay, no, I see how those are exactly the same thing. No, I get it. Yes, we did. They're both in the book, so who are you to choose which is better? Are you saying you're God? I mean, what if they did? Well, you don't get AIDS from eating pork. Nature trying to tell you something. Show me where AIDS is in the Bible. You can get AIDS from heterosex too, kid. She really be sliding. Like, really? What? Free Tory. Go visit him. None of that made any sense to me. I'll go when you go see your pops. I know it's been a long time. Actually, we own a law firm and an investment property business together. We tell each other we love each other regularly. When I was a kid, he taught me how to tie a tie, throw a ball, think logically, etc. I saw him before he left for court this morning. We also win cases together. Yeah, I know it's been a long time. For a second there, I thought your dad was asleep. Looks like he's just checking his phone, though. There is nothing toxic about your masculinity. Not natively or inherently, no. It's the mindset that you are better than all those women or these smaller men or everyone else because you got bigger boob muscles. If I say flat tire, that refers to a tire that is flat. It does not suggest that all tires are flat, but that there are tires which are flat and they should be dealt with. Saying toxic masculinity refers to a type of masculinity that is toxic. It does not suggest all masculinity is toxic. Men should be aware of the existence of toxic masculinity versus healthy masculinity, so they can see to be the kind of men, or seek to be the kind of men, who make people around them want to be better and serve the world. Yeah, toxic masculinity is garbage. For instance, being told that as a man, if you cry, you're a or a bitch or worthless. I don't know, if you unironically believe that, you should probably smack your head into a mirror until you learn. How is a same-sex marriage consummated? It can't be consummated. Have you tried lube? A woman's intuition is never wrong. Way too many single mothers out there for this to be true. Thank God I don't want to keep paying for premium. Brother, you pay for Twitter. Look, I don't like frickin' corpos on Twitter, but sometimes they make a good point. Having children is saving the world. Raising them? Not so much. Oh, whatever. He's got a lot of money he can flaunt at the very least. British Museum asks public and experts to help recover stolen artifacts. Have they checked the British Museum? Does this game exist? Second Life is not a game. It is a multi-user virtual environment. It doesn't have points or scores. It doesn't have winners or losers. Oh, it definitely has losers. Oh man, I've only played that game one time. It scared me a lot. Can this teenager use a rotary phone? Look at these stupid kids. They can't use a rotary phone. They can't use a phone book. Wow. It's almost like as technology advances, older things slowly become useless and obsolete. Kinda like Ellen. Oh god, Ellen. What a fall from mediocrity. Girls be like, 1 year with the love of my life, and this be the pic. What's wrong here exactly? Oh, the OP is jealous because people can fall in love for looks and or personality, of which they have neither. Minnesota officials ready for potential feral pig invasion. Well, the Packers game isn't until the 31st of December, yeah, so they have time to prepare. I am sure you know what it is. I'm equally disturbed by your lack of comments. You make a post and you know what the answer is and wait for people to comment raising your social relevance. Is this clickbait? Nothing chaps my hide more than baby? Wow, that's not a word. More than baby boomers saying clickbait. This is not an article. If I wanted social relevance, I'd grow a beard, wear shirts that say 1776, and yell from my car about how the government has a secret plan to enslave you with a vaccine. That's the wrong where. But anyway, the point really is... Actually, no, I'm not here to get to the point. I'm here to make fun of you people. All right? I still can't believe the boomers were the biggest hippies of all goddamn time. They're the biggest hippies ever. And then one day, they turned into the biggest goddamn psycho brats known to mankind. I'm sorry, there are a lot of you boomers that kick ass and I love you. I genuinely do. I'm sure that there's at least a couple of you actually here that listen to EmKay. I don't want to make it seem like I haven't had buddies that are boomers. I have. They can be pretty damn funny. But you gotta admit, a lot of your peers can be quite insane. Do you like... Uh-oh, that's an inside thought that we said out loud. That's not how we make friends, and that was not a good choice, sir. Now, how can we make a better choice next time? Let's reflect together. Yeah, I'm sorry, if you start off a conversation with any other human being you don't know, do you like... Yeah, they absolutely have every right and reason to talk to you like you're a 4-year-old learning etiquette. Do you notice that men are no longer persuasive? Once they ask you out on a date and you say no, that's it. If I want to play games, I got a PlayStation. Yeah. How dare men do what you ask of them to do? Respect your decision, rather than pressure you into saying yes when it's quite clear your answer from the get-go means you do not want to. If someone tells me no, that means no. That is not hard to comprehend. GPT-4 responds to Elon Musk's criticism. Oh, I bet. GPT-4, more like GPT snore, blah, 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 whatever. Elon, if I had $1 for every time I outsmarted you, I could bail out Twitter. Oh my god! How can a generative text program be smarter than Elon Musk? What the... Jimmy Kimmel to host 2024 Oscar ceremony. Who cares? Nobody does. It's why we posted it. So everyone can take time to post that nobody cares. It's a public service to the nobody cares crowd. Yeah, look at that. 3,000 likes, nearly 70 shares. Look at that. Sorry, not 3,000 likes. 2.9 thousand comments. I forgot. But yeah, I'm really tired of people that are clearly following the page, who are engaged with its posts, and will say, yeah, no one cares. I don't know. It's a little annoying. It's that high horse. Every year the Super Bowl comes on. I don't even like football. Me neither. No one gives a fuck about my opinion on football, jackwagon. Just like you may not care about my Spotify Wrapped, but I know there's at least a few people that follow me on Twitter that kinda give a You don't have to, but you're not cooler than anybody for not caring. Companies like Raytheon are the reason you're typing this today. Both the fact that you're alive and you wrote this on a phone/computer. Damn, bro. You want some more salt or seasoning to go with that boot you're licking? Notice how you didn't try to disprove my claim, but instead just insulted? Claims asserted without evidence can lick my balls. Burden of proof is on the assertion. Prove to me I wouldn't be alive without Raytheon or go back to the boot. Remember, burden of proof is on those making the goddamn claim. If you say 2 + 2 = 12, and I say, what? No, it doesn't, and then you tell me to look it up and do my research, you're a dipshit. You have to show me your actual evidence and proof for that mathematical equation equaling what you say it does. You do not try to flip it around on me, on the people asking you to prove it. That's on you, buddy. The type of guys girls be given a chance. yet I've been single for years. Ha ha ha? It's surprising girls give guys like this who get mad over pixels a chance, and not a hardworking guy who actually makes something of their lives. Oh my god. Here's one of the poor little good boys. Bro, be frickin' for real. If you've been single for years as you're whining about perhaps you aren't okay. As you're whining, perhaps you aren't as good a catch as you think you are. Go cry about your loneliness somewhere else. There is going to come a certain point when bitching on Reddit, if you're bitching on Reddit, that's less valid than just complaining in general. MC Hammer, bring in the receipts. Oh boy, what receipts? Let's see. Stick to being a one-hit wonder. You have no idea what you're wading into? I got at least 19 charted hits. Which one made you wonder? Oh, that is a beautiful response. Just because you only know one artist's song does not mean they are a one-hit wonder, okay? Jeez. We didn't need to be told don't try this at home when we were kids because we weren't freaking it. Yes, you were. You people were goddamn insanely dumb. Said the generation of kids that made magnetic refrigerator doors necessary and is the reason toy stores no longer sell lawn darts or M80s. Well, the M80s, I don't get why those would have been sold in toy stores. Technically, it's a firework of some kind, right? But yeah, lawn darts? Yeah. Also, the generation that thought that, you know what? No, I could honestly go into it forever depending on the generation, but I'm assuming that these are very old Gen X or pretty young boomers that are making this claim, man. I don't want to hear no housewife talk unless you watch Kevin Samuels without rolling your eyes. What? Kevin Samuels was twice divorced, or a twice divorced deadbeat dad that died under a hooker. Don't think he's the person to listen to for relationship advice. Who? Google should not be used in school nor taught in school. Computers and the internet have ruined kids. Be a good role model and get off the internet then. Absolutely. Like, I'm sorry, times have changed. I don't have access to encyclopedias with truly up-to-date information. Travis Kelce's doing Bud Light and good shot commercials. He needs to fire all his marketing agents. Or he just needs to go ahead and cut his off, become a chick, and endorse Joe Biden. He went home with Taylor Swift, Clay. Well, you know Clay. You know exactly what a dude that talks about chopping off and becoming a chick. You absolutely know the type of guy. So he's probably got some nasty, disgusting opinions about Taylor Swift. Don't worry, Chris, you're correct. Travis out here winning, at least for now, until he becomes a song. God, I hope someday she settles down and has no more material. Maybe she should settle down with one of her girlfriends. You know what I'm saying? I think that would be the true end of this story. When I was a kid, if you walked around with a mask on because you had a 0.2 chance of dying, they called you a paranoid schizophrenic. Bruh, 0.2 is 20%. And that is way higher than... Wait, hold on. What was the chance of contraction? At the very least. You see, I hid my head under the sand for several years. What was Chopin? Is it Chopin? What was Chopin's diet? I'm trying to get better at his music. Figured one of the best places to start would be to get the same gut bacteria. What did Chopin most likely eat inert? What is nert? Wow, I'm talking too fast. I need to slow down. What would they have most likely eaten in early 19th century Paris? People will do anything to avoid practicing. Wasn't that artist like a savant of some kind, or were they actually like I've been playing this instrument or making my music for 5,000 years practiced musician? Because I mean, like Mozart was, what's the word? Not a savant. I can't think of the word. You know what I'm talking about though. If you know me, you know I'm committed to truth and fairness. Here's the truth. Not a single authentic user on X saw IBM's, Comcast's, or Oracle's ads next to the Content and Media Matters article. Only 2 users saw Apple's ad next to the content, at least one of which was Media Matters. Data wins over manipulation or allegations. Don't be manipulated. Stand with X. I feel like your character will have 3 lines tops when they make a TV miniseries about this. Ooh, that one kinda hurts. Ouch! This is why you thrive on Twitter. It's the perfect medium for you. It's very superficial and oriented to the public and not experts. Oh yeah? Well, this guy says I'm an expert. Huh. That is a lot. In Provoked, How America Started the New Cold War with Russia and the Catastrophe in Ukraine. Scott Horton delivers on his thesis. This book is a necessary, timely, critically important antidote to Western war propaganda, which posits that Russia invaded Ukraine for reasons that have nothing to do with Western interference. Damn it! But you know who said all that? You want to know who's quoted as saying all that? Max Abrams. So I paid €12 for a seat, but a window isn't included in the deal? What the hell? Read that again, but slowly. Okay, I do have to say, the prices that Ryanair seems to be able to do, I'm sorry, I would actually be kind of pissed about the window because I get really panicky and weird on a plane if I can't look out the damn window. I get a lot more claustrophobic and just, I don't know, I'm having a lot less of a good time. Less good of a time, you could say? But for what's the equivalent of what? That is euros, right? What would that be? Like 13, 14, 9, 10, 11 dollars? It's so cheap. The cheapest single one-way flight I've ever seen in the US is when I took a Spirit Airlines flight for $45. Awful, by the way. Don't ever fly that absolute joke of an airline. For that money, I couldn't even get to the airport if I took public transportation. I think of that 12 as the extra charge for choosing your seat. This has happened to me before when I paid to choose a seat, that their schematic made it look like it had extra legroom. Turns out they didn't include it in the bulkhead. Oh no, they didn't include the bulkhead in the drawing. Gotcha. Yeah, so just remember, I don't think Ryanair is ever the good guy. I believe the CEO said something along the lines, if he could take out all the seats and make standing room only, he would make all tickets like $1. But standing room only on a plane, well, at least we know he's not allowed to do that for now. Breaking. Apple has just reportedly halted advertising on X after owner Elon Musk backed an anti-Semitic? Oh my god, my brain is just not running well today. Backed an anti-Semitic post. Apple, following IBM, and in the last few hours, Lionsgate pulled ads. Tesla market cap slashed $40+ billion since he retweeted the anti-Jewish post. We're on it at 3. Ridiculous. Cancel culture is still alive. This you, Bob? Oh yeah, cancel culture doesn't count when they do it. No, it doesn't count. It's not the same. Stop. Shut up. Pride equals 1 month. Veterans equal 1 day. Our veterans deserve more. February 3rd, National Military Chaplains Day, aka 4 Chaplains Day. February 19th, Coast Guards Day, Navy Reserves Day, K-9 Veterans Day, Medal of Honor Day, Vietnamese Veterans Day, Gold Star Spouses Day, Air Force Reserves Day, Army Reserves Day, Silver Star Banner Day, Military Spouse Day, Children of Fallen Patriots Day, Saturday in May Armed Forces Day, Memorial Day, D-Day Anniversary, Army Day, Coast Guard Auxiliary Day, Korean War Veterans Day, Coast Guard Day, Purple Heart Day, Marine Forces Reserve Day, Palmia Day, I do say Palmia just because it's easier to read, Air Force Day, Gold Star Families Day, Navy Day, National Day of the Deployed, Marine Corps Day, Veterans Day, Pearl Harbor Day, National Guard Day, National Wreaths Across America Day, Space Force Day. P.S. May is Military Appreciation Month. P.P.S. April, Month of the Military Child. November, Military Family Month / Warrior Care Month. P.P.P.S. Gay men have served in every war ever. There's zero conflict between LGBTs and Armed Forces Appreciation, except the one made up in your head. This guy's not gay, though? Dude, look at them. He's wearing them jorts and boots. Like, look at this guy. Huh? Hold on. Air conditioning is unhealthy, bad, miserable, and sexist. I can't explain how many times I've gotten sick over the summer because of overzealous AC in the offices. The majority of men in business settings are wearing multiple layers of clothes to conform to dress code. Put on a goddamn cardigan and stop making me ashamed to share a chromosome with you. I woke up at 4 a.m. every day for years while I was building my business and still had a full-time job. If you want it, you'll find a way. No excuses. You run an internet marketing agency with 48 followers on Instagram. I'm going to sleep in around 300 kilometers per hour. Or an hour? I don't know, it's the slash. Sorry, stupid American here. Please translate to my superior measurement system. About 14 times the speed of a .45 caliber bullet. 14 times the... Oh, I didn't see the point. The 0.14 times the speed of a .45 caliber bullet. I was gonna say, good God, I thought they moved a lot faster than that. Anyway, you don't think I'm pretty? LMAO! No, I do. I do think you're very pretty, but what I am not is one of those, or these oaks, that will give you a free ride just because you have your looks as a get-out-of-jail-free card. Look, I get it. You were raised by a society that thinks you should be celebrated for just existing. I'm not a part of that society. You're vacuous? You're inattentive. You're an egomaniac. You're conceited almost beyond belief to think that your distinct lack of personality is made up for by the fact that you're pretty and spend a lot of your day squatting. We have nothing, and I mean nothing in common. You don't read. You can't tell me what your favorite movie is. You're a Cardi B fan. You have no interest in sports other than the footballers. And now, F1 drivers that you enjoy objectifying. Your favorite car is what's popular. Your favorite drink is whatever other people are buying, or buying you rather, and no. Just no. It staggers me that you went through so much of an effort to get my number from your bra after meeting me once to be this person. You clearly don't know me at all and made little to no effort to, in this time, to do so. So yes, you are pretty, very pretty, but I'm pretty as hell too. So what makes me chase you? It's not enough to just be pretty. It's nothing. Good frickin' lord. Once again, PETA are full of excrement. Do you mean full of shit? Think of these goats next time you see a cashmere jumper. Here's some context though. Goats scream for all kinds of reasons, including hunger, boredom, and pain. Brushing removes dandruff and loose hair that some goats get and increases blood flow. Goats just make noise sometimes, PETA. Animals will sometimes just do that. Like you guys. Did you know the Sith Eternal Fleet seen in Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker was created by Sith cultists on Exegol, or Exegol, I don't know, who indoctrinated Exegol's population with Sith values and raised and trained their children to become officers, mechanics, and soldiers for the Final Order. No, how could we have known? Elijah Wood is the absolute GOAT. I f***ing love the man, and I'm so happy he's the one to say this. Also, why is that like the only cool part of that entire movie? The two good parts of The Rise of Skywalker were the trailer music for the final trailer, which was amazing, wish I could listen to it elsewhere, and that giant death fleet, that looked really cool. But, you know, the movie wasn't. My abs are tight, but my pussy is tighter. Dad must be so proud. Well, I graduated valedictorian, went to college on a full ride, am on Forbes 30 Under 30, provide for both of my parents, and I look good as f*** in this picture. Why wouldn't he be? Hell yeah, motherfucker. You are able to be a woman, enjoy your sexuality, be comfortable with it, and flaunt it just like a lot of dudes do. You're allowed to do that, all right? And she's probably way more successful than random Mr. Twitter dipshit 4.2. Redditor forgets women exist. Well, of course they do. There's no women on Reddit. How are they gonna remember? Skill issue. My boyfriend is the wind beneath my wings. Dating is different for gay people. Your experience isn't equivalent. This post is about men and women not getting along. I'm straight though? My boyfriend, I'm straight. Make up your mind. Lol, which one are you? Homie, I'm a woman. No, this guy didn't forget women exists. This guy doesn't think they are people. There are a lot of statistics where Americans are at the top. Most of them just aren't that nice to brag about. Oh god, you could go on forever about the things we're number one in that are very sad. Oh, I forgot how to convert 1.85 meters to 185 centimeters. OP must be American or dumb. Same thing. All I'm hearing is, wow, my country doesn't have the 6th biggest pyramid in the world? What? Fix your hearing then. Why should I care about the opinion from someone likely living off of American taxpayer money? Basically, no one lives off of the American taxpayer money except for corporations. You can't even feed your own homeless or pay for healthcare with that money. When it comes to killing with American taxpayer money, now that's different. By the way, what kind of flex is having the 6th largest pyramid? Sounds like you're having a hard time coming up with upsides to living in your country. Wait a minute. Is he talking about the pyramid I think he's talking about? Oh, whew. I thought he was talking about the Bass Pro Pyramid in Memphis, Tennessee. I thought he was talking about that. He might be talking about the Luxor in Las Vegas, because that's a pyramid, last I checked, and I think it's ranked 7th? I don't know. I don't think the Bass Pro Shops pyramid is all that large. I think that triangular pyramid-looking building in San Francisco is like the 2nd tallest in the world. I don't know. Just one Google away, probably on a garbage website that doesn't prove any of that. I don't know. You should look it up, though. I'm not making any actual claims whatsoever right now. I take back everything I said. I genuinely thought he was talking about the Bass Pro Shops pyramid because we all find that thing very, very funny. Also, I, as an American who does not consider themselves to be completely lost, please don't call me dumb because I live here. That's fucking stupid, and you're probably above that. I mean, I don't know, you might not be. I don't know you. I'm confused. Why aren't you making sandwiches? Oh, I wonder who you said that to. I'm sorry that your dad finds you girly and will never be proud of you. I'm sorry your mom drinks when she thinks about what a disappointment you are. Maybe one day, if you try, you can have substance in your life instead of old stiff socks. I hate how sexual the world has become, okay? There's an orgy depicted in the Sistine Chapel. The Romans used to have holidays dedicated to sex. Concubines and royal courtesans were the norm. Stone Age humans had sex with toys. The Kama Sutra was written around 400 BCE and Cleopatra owned a Read a book. I'm really tired of, the world's nothing but sexual garbage now. No, you just need something to be mad about today. Source? I have 2 excellent sources, Control-C and Control-V. Oh, you do not understand what ownership means. I get it now. Good luck with whatever you got going on, buddy. Only someone who bought NFTs can truly understand what the concept of owned means. Gotcha, bitch! Everything you are witnessing is a plan to destabilize, destroy, and transition the America you grew up in. Charlie, how old do you think you are? For reference, the man is 30 years old. I'm going to be turning 28 in a few weeks. We grew up in the same America, and what exactly was it like when we were kids, Charlie? Oh, we were playing Kid Pix and old school RuneScape? Are they trying to get rid of those things? Charlie? F***ing idiot. I grew up in an America where a woman could not get a credit card. Marital was not only legal but considered impossible. Gay sex was punishable by hard prison time. Possessing marijuana could get you life in prison. Black men were still being young men were being drafted and sent off to die, and I am only in my early 60s. Your romanticizing the past is self-service bullshit, and Charlie never experienced a fraction of those things. Actually, hell, has Charlie ever experienced any of America at all? I probably experienced more. This lake vehemently stands with women having the right to choose. That's a word I don't read out loud very often. I just don't know how it's said. Water is wet and abortion kills a human being. Thomas, not even your first talking point is correct. Water is not wet. What water touches is wet. I'm confident I have a lot more experience in making things wet than you do. Lol, dude. I am legitimately a doctor. Wow. And would like to recommend a therapist and maybe some anger management programs. Help us out there. I'll be praying for you. Take care and God bless. Okay. You're posting pictures of yourself to free compliments and asking about a nose job to strangers. I'm not taking advice from someone who is so desperate that they turn to the dumbest website on earth for validation and then telling people to go through therapy. Figure yourself out. Why are you needing validation from random people online? Go preach elsewhere. Your bio, nurturer with a hint of thug. Sure, continue with your wisdom, doctor. This thing about how much men think about the Roman Empire shows how little women know about most men. Men look at history to learn from past mistakes. That is not why they look at history. This shouldn't surprise anyone. The thing that surprises men who learn from history is not everyone else does, and cause the same problems that brought down entire civilizations in the past. Quit listening to Andrew Tate. Oh, wow. Happy Ramadan. Notice you insult our holiday and we're unbothered, but if a cup says Happy Holidays in December, your white ass gets as heated as this bacon. Yeah. Oh, man. It's just so tiresome. How very hardcore Christmas celebrating individuals will lose their minds about people saying happy holidays because I don't know what you celebrate. Hell, you could have an ugly-ass Christmas sweater that says Merry Christmas, and I'm not gonna make any assumption at you. Why? Because I don't know you! Stop it! If I say happy holidays and you get offended, grow the up. Does your doors don't have locks? Does your English haveth good? You speak English because it's the only language you know. I speak English because it's the only language you know. We're not the same. That is probably one of the greatest beatdowns in internet history, and I'm so glad we all get to see it. Normies trying to avoid the mountain of proof that the conspiracy theorists were right about everything. Okay, this is a meme. Where is the mountain of proof? Where is the... See, this is what we were talking about at the beginning of this video. Where is the mountain of proof? This is a photograph with some text. Give me all of your proof. Anyway, what does this lovely comment here have to say? Biden, still president. Clinton, still not in jail. Trump, still not in the White House. FEMA alert killing everyone through their phones on October 4th. Nope. The Storm still never came. The Great Awakening still napping. JFK still dead. JFK Jr. still dead too. Pizzagate still fake. The Holocaust still real. Moon landings still happen 6 times. Hunter's laptop still just pics. Twitter files still nothing. Obama still Christian. Oh, and American. Area 51 still just an aircraft testing site. FEMA camps still don't exist. Operation Jade Helm, Texas is still there. Still real. The vaccinated still alive. The Great Reset didn't happen. 9/11 still no proof it was an inside job. Earth still round. Chemtrails still just ice clouds caused by a rapid change in air pressure at high altitude. Climate change still real and getting worse. The pyramids just tombs built by humans. Stonehenge just a temple built by humans. Adrenochrome? Just a waste product of adrenaline that was incorrectly hypothesized to be the cause of schizophrenia in the 60s. Princess Diana? Still dead by an accident. Gas stoves? Still there. Fox News? Just made up lies and admitted to it in court. Q? Still just a 4chan troll. 4chan troll that people have dedicated their entire brains to. Why? Why JPN? Why must you make these 13 particular days different than the rest? Why not just make it a... what? 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, and the teens. Why English you do this to us? What? Oh, no, I don't get it. Murdered by Words in Murdered by Words. We do like ourselves a little bit of murderception. The better question is, why did you post this up? I see no murder or anything close to it. Maybe they meant to post in one of the boring dystopian subreddits? 5 million karma. No, they know what they're doing. OP's the type of poster that if you block, your Reddit experience just improves by a tiny bit. That's not murder, but a scratch. Finally, available everywhere. Who is Lara Trump? I played this for my dogs, and after they ran to the garage and grabbed some fireworks, they told me next time to shoot those off instead of playing your song. I'm sorry, except I'm not. Anthony Bourdain had this right. Once you've been to Cambodia, you'll never stop wanting to beat Henry Kissinger to death with your bare hands. Ooh. You'll never again be able to open a newspaper and read about that treacherous... what is that word? Prevaricating murderous scumbag sitting down for a nice chat with Charlie Rose or attending some black tie affair for a new glossy magazine without choking. Witness what Henry did in Cambodia, the fruits of his genius for statesmanship, and you'll never understand why he's not sitting in the dock at The Hague next to I don't understand those, but I know what you're saying. While Henry continues to nibble nori rolls and ramaki at A-list parties, Cambodia, the neutral nation he secretly and illegally bombed, invaded, undermined, and then threw to the dogs, is still trying to raise itself up on its one remaining leg. Almost half of Gen Z are germaphobes and hand wash 10 times or more daily. Wow, that's wild. I wonder if there was any kind of collective life-changing traumatic event that happened that made them this way. You know, I personally have been thinking the exact same thing. What out there could have happened that would make, well, that many of a certain generation kind of freaked out about getting sick? No, it wouldn't have been just catching a cold or the flu or something as a child, no. You know, my sarcastic ass just can't seem to come to grips with anything. Can't think of anything, unfortunately.
America, help is on the way in the form of Ben Shapiro and Joe Rogan. I'd say this episode must have been a roller coaster, but neither are allowed on one. Not meeting the height requirements. Well, that's why they have the big trench coat standing on each other's shoulder gag. God doesn't cancel people. He literally started all of humanity over with a flood. It's a do-over. It's not canceled? No, just started a different subscription to humanity. It's totally different. It's fine. I have to simmer on that a little longer. I didn't think about that part. That God was just kind of like, he restarted his Sims game and wiped his old save. Kind of messed up. I bet you're real fun at parties. Classic insult. Well, you'd know if you were invited. Oh. I'm sure he's invited to parties, just not ones that we'd be seen at. Why are you as a man saying you're tired? Men used to die in war and now they're tired? Oh my God. Why are you as a woman questioning me? Women used to get slapped for talking too much. And then she goes, what? Yes, valid reaction. And then she silenced her notifications. She had to sit on that one. She had to think about that. Magic Mike grossed 167 million. If you still think girls like dad bods, keep dreaming, pal. Shrek grossed 484 million, just so we're clear. Yeah, they don't like dad bods. They like gross, stinking ogres. Just so we're clear. Buddy, you gotta move on. I'm not your buddy. Well, Thank God for small blessings. Oh, no. It make matters worse, the I'm not your buddy reply from OP has negative 800 downvotes. He's no one's buddy, and it's very clear. People with no kids, who turn y'all lights off and hand y'all the remote? Did you make kids just to have minions? I tell Google to turn the lights off and my remote's on the end table to next to where I sit. It's 2023. Stop using your crotch fruit as employees. Don't know how I'm gonna sit on that term. Crotch fruit, I'm not sure I enjoy that term. I agree with the sentiment. The earth is 4,000 years old. Incorrect, but this is on Christians Against Science, so I'm fighting an uphill battle here. Change my mind. I'll certainly try. The half-life of uranium-238 is 4.5 billion years. It decays into radium-226, which in turn decays into radon-222. Radon-222 becomes polonium-210, which finally decays into a stable nuclide lead. Wait, we get lead from uranium? Wait, what? Huh? Is that why we stopped using it in pencils? And does all lead come from uranium? The existence of lead as an element disproves the 4,000-year-old myth. They went in there all smug, change my mind, and you change their mind with everyone's favorite former pencil filler, lead. Oh, this is a big post. This is, zoom out and get the whole scope of this post just so we understand the absolute size of this bad boy. Electric cars in Paris. No one will buy them because of the cost of the replacement battery. Green madness destroys the planet, and it is certainly a field of tiny cars. Disappointed to see LinkedIn professionals not doing adequate research before commenting and supporting misleading posts. It's a failed business model, not failed technology. The conclusion? The presence of these cars on a vacant lot has nothing to do with dead batteries, which would have been too costly to replace. In fact, the cars are still operational. Rather, these photos illustrate the failure of a public car sharing service launched in Paris and neighboring cities, operated by a large transportation company. Fascinating. Edit after post, and there's more! After the attention my post received, I did a little more digging around using Google Images search. The photo in the original post was taken in China, unsure of city, and shows EVs belonging to Moto City, a car share business. The graveyard is the result of an oversupply of cars coupled with a downturn in car sharing. And they also included a link to an article showing everything here. I maintain my original statements regarding the misleading nature of the post. If anything, the original post is made to look even more farcical, given the fact the photo is not from Paris. It is from China. Dude got dunked on and had citations added. That's embarrassing. It's getting real scary out here. This a man. Whenever y'all say it's getting scary out here in regards to trans people, I just assume that you found said person attractive and don't know what to do with those feelings, so instead of acknowledging them, you make it everyone else's problem. The brief damn, they're fine, followed by, wait, no, I'm not, no, it's everyone else's fault. Denmark's Queen Margaret II unexpectedly announces abdication in New Year's Eve speech. There are a lot of Americans who follow this page. You should define abdicate for them. You know, they're thinking about alien abductions. No, I know what abdicate means. I just wouldn't be able to spell it if you asked me. Nah, we're confused about why monarchs are still a thing. I actually don't know why monarchs are still a thing. A friendly reminder that when you used to rent videos from us, we didn't care who you shared it with, as long as you returned it on time. At Netflix. You had a chance to buy Netflix and passed on it. I'm an intern. I barely have permission to have a lunch break. I didn't pass on anything. Why are you getting offended? Come on. That's the most attention Blockbuster's had in years. That tweet. Isn't there like just one remaining Blockbuster left? Can you imagine today's youth storming the beaches of Normandy? I can't imagine today's boomers doing it. All y'all do is buy commemorative Trump teddy bears and post how to open PDF as a Facebook status. Ever hear of the Vietnam War? Oh no. Who won? Well, you see, from Kathy Griffin. I worked my way up by the 10th year at CNN to get a fee of $150,000. By the way, just as a point of reference, Anderson Cooper regularly bragged for years that his annual CNN contract was $10 million a year. Greg Gutfield coming in with the gut punch. You were paid for one night. Cooper's salary is for 1 year. You actually get paid more than him per telecast. Your tweet perpetuates the false and damaging stereotype that math is harder for women. Wait, so she was paid per broadcast, he was paid per year. My brain's not braining right now. Hold on. Okay, so I had to do the math here because I was misunderstanding. She was paid 150 grand for a New Year's telecast appearance. One appearance on a telecast, right? Anderson Cooper has around 260 appearances for CNN per like a yearly contract. So if we take the $1 million a year salary with 260 shows done, that's about just under $4 grand a show, which means per telecast, Kathy Griffin made $146,000 more than Anderson Cooper did. If we were going band for band, telecast for telecast, she makes more. This math is wrong and she's stupid. I will not apologize for being white. Jesus Christ, Tammy, we're not mad that you're white. I'm white. We're mad that you're a racist, ignorant, steaming pile of shit, which does not necessarily mean being white. You're an animal? Well, that's interesting. I'm a person. Nice to meet you, animal. I like how this sentence starts. You absolute dimwit. Oh, you already know you're going to school when that's how you're addressed. Humans are animals. There are 4 things an alive being can be: microbes, plants, fungi, and animals. Actually, it's fun guy. You probably are the first option with a comment like that. Damn, they call you a microbe. Damn. Did we cancel D-Day because of a little rough weather? No, play the damn game. Readers added context they thought people might want to know. D-Day was delayed by a day because of the weather. I love when Community Notes just absolutely fries people alive. Just completely cooks them. Men, stay away from vulgar women. A feminine, respectful woman values what she speaks or writes. A woman who easily says or writes fuck, vagina, or dick is a no. Vulgar women are damaged women. Oh, Jesus. Who come with emotional baggage. Focus on your life. Hashtag masculinity Saturday. Vagina is vulgar? I'm a GYN. What am I supposed to call it? The pocketbook? For your profession, yes. I feel like vagina is much more graceful than something like cooter. Cooter's the worst word to say, I feel like. Any scientific evidence for gravity today? Yeah, pal. Jump. How many points of contact are you making with your mom's basement floor right now? None. I'm floating. I can't prove it though. My camera broke, and my phone's not here. Prove me wrong. No English word has double P's except for apple. Prove me wrong?
Pineapple
apparently appears, disappear, disappear. Disapproves, kidnapping, kidnapper, rapper, rappings.
I could go on. You went on like a 67-word combo proving this guy wrong? It's a little overkill. Pope Francis calls for a global ban on parenting via surrogacy, calling the practice deplorable and a grave violation of the dignity of the woman and child. Well, hey Francis, hey Frankie, hey Pope Frank. Jesus was born via surrogacy, and that's why he was nailed to that big old T, wasn't he? Started realizing women appreciate the fact that you made plans, sometimes even more than the plan itself. It's the pre-thought part that has them. I was gonna make a joke here, but they beat me to it. Local man discovers effort. That's right. People appreciate effort. Don't make me tap the sign. Just a friendly reminder, if you're one of the red people, I'm not gonna take your opinion over those blue people. Have a lovely day and keep your conspiracy theories to yourself. Peak of Mount Ignorance. Twitter expert. The Valley of Despair. Doctor. Psychologists begin the slope of enlightenment. Higher up on the slope is someone with that character in their bio. And finally, we reach the guru side of the scale with the plateau of sustainability, which are niche dog f***ers and micro celebrities. Via you posting this picture proves that not only do you not understand the Dunning-Kruger effect, but you yourself fall under it. You are so ignorant to your viewpoint being right that you're completely blind to logic, reasoning, and the law. What's the Dunning-Kruger effect? The Dunning-Kruger effect is a cognitive bias in which people with limited competence in a particular domain overestimate their abilities. Damn. So it's basically saying the less you know, the more confident you are. And then as you gain experience, you grow less confident. But then when you become an expert, your confidence is at a sustainable level. Very interesting. Okay. I just want to be clear here. It's not about being stupid. You could be stupid and still suffer from the Dunning-Kruger effect. It's about being overconfident. So I feel like everyone watching this video, including myself narrating this, has been affected by the Dunning-Kruger effect. We're all a little overconfident sometimes. I think that's a cool cognitive bias thing. We're all a little stupid. Seriously, stop! Stop recommending me weird gay NSFW subs I've never visited before! Hey pal, your recommendations are based on your previous searches and clicks. Well, I didn't know that. Thank you. It's sad to see instead of boys accepting a woman is better at them in a video game, they have to perpetuate the idea they cheated in order to sleep at night. It's a hard reality to accept your dog. Frowny face. Making it about gender is pathetic. You cheated your way into popularity and got exposed to LAN. The only reason you ever got a following is because of your gender, so using it as if it's a crutch to you is wild. I know players 10 times better than you that will never get any traction because they can't rely on lonely men for a following. See, this is where I get conflicted. I agree that the whole thing with Nadia is an interesting case of someone cheating in a video game. I don't really care either way. I also don't really care if someone is relying on being attractive to get a following. Oh no, I don't really care. A bag is a bag, and I feel like being attractive is not an unethical way to sustain a bag. I don't care. Absolutely zero beautiful women can see your anime t-shirt or your cowboy boots or dirty sneakers and think, wow, that's so sexy. Really? What about my mommy loves me shirt? Look at yourself. You're a nerd. You've got no girls, no money, and you've got no swagger, and you surely have no idea how to dress yourself. You know what I do have though? A victory royale in Fortnite. I don't need all that other stuff. Have you ever met a woman that didn't immediately want to cover her drink when you walked in the room? Oh man. Oh, Tony Lee. If you're attracted to her, you're a latent homosexual. Sorry, I don't make the rules. Why, is it because she has a six-pack? Well, we've done it, boys. We've come full circle. It is now gay for us to be attracted to women. We've done it. We've made it. Now we're here. We never thought we'd get there, but yet here we are. Selena Gomez is back on Instagram, 18 hours after announcing a social media break. That's all of us. If I'm never flying Ryanair ever again was a person, and USA never lost to Vietnam. That's correct. They lost to half of Vietnam. It's the same person from a few posts ago who talked about Vietnam. This is the same person getting smoked. Millennial, saving for a house? You might need an inheritance. A sign of a healthy economy is when you tell a whole generation to sit tight and wait for their parents to die. That's how we know we're really churning along. We're doing things right. Girls who like to be choked and hit during sex are also the ones who cry when you yell at them. Well, yes. They like to be sexually dominated, not verbally abused. There's a difference, son. One that you must learn now. I ain't reading all that. I ain't reading all that? Yeah. Okay. Listen up, you stupid, imbecilic, anti-intellectual piece of human fecal matter. That post was 2, maybe 3 pages long at the most. And you're saying that you either are somehow so lazy that you can't spend a few minutes acknowledging the effort that another living, breathing human being put into write that work of actual art, or you simply don't have the mental capacity to read it. Did you never pass 3rd fucking grade? Did you whine and moan whenever the teacher pulled out a magic schoolhouse book, having a tantrum and interrupting the learning experience of everyone else because you couldn't get over your own inability to be a decent member of society? You're actually pathetic. Not only is that comment shorter than practically anything you need to read to pass basic English, it's also hilarious. I should know, unlike you, I took a small amount of time out of my day to actually read the damn thing, and I was amazed by how witty and clever it was. This person could write screenplays in their spare time if they really wanted to, but instead they blessed the both of us with this. But their gift, and let's not get confused on this, by the way, it is a gift, was rejected by you because you couldn't even give it a chance to see if you might have liked it, to see if you might have learned something from it, to see if you might have walked away from it a better person. Now you'll never know, because even though you couldn't take the 2 seconds out of your day to read it, you did take the time to type your stupid comment, putting how brain dead you are on display for everyone to see. I'll shat myself. So apparently job candidates sending a thank you note isn't a thing anymore. Candidates, pro tip, send a thank you note. Keep your head lower than the interviewer. Memorize your surroundings. Never turn your back on the interviewer when leaving the room. Address the interviewer as your job ship. Bring a stout pig as the gift to the interviewer. Praise the interviewer and debase yourself. Wear a tie. Do all of those, and you'll still be asked if you have 10 years experience for an entry level. Parents have read it. Why don't you close the door when leaving our rooms? Because saying, son, your room stinks of the month-old cum socks that are clearly stuffed down the side of the bed, need to let some fresh air in here because I'm genuinely worried at this point that breathing the air that's currently in here technically counts as me swallowing your money shot is just gonna embarrass us both. Okay, Dad. Leonardo DiCaprio says he does not follow soccer. What's Arsenal? Arsenal Foot Club is older than 25 years, so why would he know? Same girl, but the girl on the left has wife potential, and the girl on the right doesn't. Why? 1,000 stare. Excuse me? Learn to see it, never commit to it, and do your bit not to cause it. The damn 1,000 stare gets us all. I'll make $16 an hour packing boxes at the Amazon distribution center. I'll be damned if people flipping burgers make as much money as me doing skilled labor. Bezos makes 150 grand a minute and pays you $16 an hour, but you're mad at McDonald's fry cooks? Yeah, that's right. Why? Is there a problem? Worked my ass off to pay back my student loans in full. Student loan forgiveness is an absolute insult. Yeah, my grandmother died of cancer, so I think a cure for cancer would be a massive insult. See how that works? See how dumb you sound? When I was like 4, I was epileptic and had a seizure. My grandpa and his brother took me to Mexico, cut open a goat and put me inside of it. What? What? Huh? Never had a seizure again. You have other problems. Every time I meet someone who believes in crazy magical cures like this, I always wonder what the hell it's like to view the world through their eyes. It's always the ones who distrust legitimate science, but somehow this line of reasoning goes unquestioned. Engulfing your child in blood and guts. At what point do you hear that and go, f*** a neurologist. Goat innards sound like a way more effective solution. Oh, Tommy, you got the common cold? Back to the farm. Hey, Courtney, how are you, hun? I just wanted to reach out real quick because I know you're a busy mama, and well, I get to help other mamas just like you get more time with their babies while creating financial freedom and more time freedom to live a life you deserve. Can I ask if you keep your options open to additional income if it doesn't affect your current situation? First off, my name is Chloe. Secondly, if you'd taken even a minute to look at my profile or anything about me, much less my name, you would find my son's obituary. So no, I will never be getting more time with my baby. Lastly, I don't even know who you are, so kindly f*** off and reevaluate your life. But I want to talk to you about Herbalife, please. If I don't get you, I don't meet my quota. If Alex Jones pays for lying, shouldn't every celebrity pushing vaccines pay too? Oh, girl, don't do this. Mia, don't. We all love your little cash register gun song. Don't ruin it. Just eat your food, please. I bet you couldn't make a sentence without A. You thought you just did something here, didn't you? Well, sorry to burst your bubble, but numerous sentences could be constructed without employing the first letter of the English lexicon, idiot. I mean, I ran the numbers, and yeah, there is not an A to be found in their reply. Never waste my money on this book. Any books, by the looks of it. Oh, no. They're all laughing at you, dude.
Boom. Roasted.
Put any of this shit in a burger and we're gonna have a problem. Yeah, you tell him, buddy. Proud of you for speaking your mind. How was kindergarten today, since you don't like eating vegetables? On a post where a horse rider gets catcalled. Hey, don't be shy. Look up the company on the van and report them. Or take the compliment, I don't know. Sexual comments to a stranger isn't a compliment. You'll learn if you ever get a girl to like you enough to give you a daughter, but we don't know how likely that will be. Our first date. This is what them stray cats be eating in cartoons. You sure this is a first date? Looks like the last meal of a struggle life. Good grief. Ladies, you can't be drafted. Sit down when war is discussed. A lot of men have told me to sit down and shut up. Now those men call me Colonel, and you'll do the same. Man's got a point though. What the hell are crab cakes? Cakes. And stay with me on this one, with crab in them. You Americans got hella audacity assuming you're at the center of the universe and everyone adheres and is well acquainted with your food and customs. This is not the first time on this group that I inquire about American-based cuisine, and you guys mouth off like everyone's ignorant and stupid for not knowing whatever the hell you people call food. Why the hell would you classify a seafood-based dish as cake?
Cakes are sweet and don't have claws, so it's fair for anyone who isn't within walking distance of a school shooting to ask this question. Jesus Christ, behave like you're a fraction of the world, not the whole thing. Can I have a crab cake? I've never been forced to endure anything pop culture related. Yeah, dude, your avatar has Crocs on. I think you have. Once again, John, you were duped by left-wing hashtag fake news. At Margot M. Martin shot the footage and verified it. The weird part is that you'll fall for these things from the same people who want to ban you. Yeah, I'm afraid my Cambridge law degree, my lifetime interest in psychology, philosophy, and the history of science have left me extraordinarily gullible. Though not gullible enough to join a cult, I'm afraid. Sorry about that, Neil. Hey, my buddy and I are starting a new car detailing business. $70 basic full service interior and exterior, $100 for advanced full service, $130 for the deluxe finish. Contact me on Messenger or by text with my number blank. My partner's information is blank. Contact us for scheduling what the services include. How much for you to clean your room? From OP's dad. Now don't be embarrassed, OP. You could make a well-meaning business transaction here. This could still turn out in your favor. I'm not digging through this hill of shit. Is he actually denying gravity? Yes. And what are you gonna do about it? I'll laugh at your expense and hope that you don't hurt yourself or anyone else when you upgrade to laces from Velcro shoes. I am an artist, so I appreciate the aesthetic, but I never met anyone who has had an entire head as mere decoration. Really impressive, honestly. No, stop. Nostalgia is not a distinct emotion. It's joy towards memories of the past. Anxiety is a manifestation of fear, and envy is an anger born of desire. Why do y'all insist on being insufferable about every Disney movie that comes out nowadays? You're a grown-ass man talking about, I've been silent on this and I'm putting my foot down. How about you put your foot down on getting some bitches? Listen, I don't care if the grown men want to argue about the animated Disney movie. It's entertaining on my Twitter feed. That's all I want. Why the hell is a greasy, barely edible sandwich become the measuring stick for international economic equivalency? Seriously, when did the Big Mac become a unit of measure? 1986, but that's not really what you wanted to know, is it? What's your QBQ? Oh, you did not see that coming. I didn't even know the Big Mac index was a thing. What's this all about? This is like what the Waffle House index or whatever? That's the one I like. I like the Waffle House index. But the Big Mac index, I'm looking it up right now, it shows how burger prices differ across borders, which is fascinating. So a burger, a Big Mac, will cost $4.49, and that is pounds in Britain, and cost $5.69 in the States. The implied exchange rate is 79 cents, and it suggests that the British pound is 0.36% overvalued. This is on theeconomist.com, but you need to have a free trial to read the full article. But I'm sure there's plenty of other sources that have this exact thing. It's just the first link I found. Apparently chicken eggs are fetuses. Wow, cool. You know that's a dead fetus you're decorating, right? I'm not sure if you were going for rude or uneducated, but you did well. You managed to do both. Whoa, I just realized that raising a kid is basically 18 years of prompt engineering. Oh, why? Because someone else is doing it for you and you're just taking credit?
Boom. Roasted.
To Biggie Pack. Jesus Christ. Oh, I just can't get through a video today without messing up my words. To piggyback on this, if it's a slab-on grade, you can drill through it. It won't hurt anything. Rebar isn't there for strength in an SOG. Edit. Everyone that would like to say I'm wrong, go read chapter 17 of ACI 318. Not that you can't drill through it, but that's a pretty ignorant comment. Rebar is always there for strength. It's literally why it's used in concrete. My statement is based on my education as a structural engineer and my experience as a structural engineer. What is yours based on? Feel free to read chapter 7 of ACI 318 and let me know where I'm wrong. I'll have a lot of buildings that will need retrofits if I have. Oh God, you got him with the experience, Phil, no! Imagine being some Portuguese explorer coming across this majestic being. I'm pretty sure the Portuguese have seen an Englishman before. He may have just been a little confused what they were doing out there.
Boom. Roasted.
Prince William has been named UK's third sexiest man of 2024. See, this is what happens when the NHS doesn't cover eye tests. We're saying he's the third sexiest man? Get out of here. What should I name her? Hashtag my new toy. Call it free throw so you won't ever sink it. God damn, Andy. I hope Shaq went through with it and named her free throw. Hot take. Not only was Gomez a terrible agent, but a pretty bad actor too. Am I the only one that couldn't stand this dude? His acting was so corny and he demonstrated zero usefulness aside from talking himself into the laundry, and that acting performance was rough. Anyway, that's my hot take. Roast me. And not every character exists to save the day. He's kind of like you, existing without adding much value. Oh, burn! It was indeed. It was a burn so bad you had to extend the word. My kid will not be stuck to an iPad. They'll be outside playing. Dude, yeah, imaginary children are the easiest to raise, dude. Good luck. Hope you have fun. Where can a Christian get their nails done without having to be surrounded by other statues in Buddha? I am not... Oh my God. I am done paying women who have nothing in common with me spiritually big bucks to do my nails. I want a person who knows the Lord to do my nails. Seems logical. Yeah, I think Jesus got his nails done by some Roman guys. I hope that helps. A misogynist kicker versus the Swifties. Chiefs K. Harrison Butker with a message to young men around the world. Be unapologetic of your masculinity. Fight against the cultural emasculation of men. Do hard things. Never settle for what is easy. Thank you, person wearing 7 pounds of hair gel, who plays the only position on the football field where you legally can't get touched, for this rousing talk on masculinity. Kate Beckinsale opens up about grief and health issues in response to comment about her weight. Sorry to say this, Kate, but you do look a bit thin. You always strike a great balance, but when your cheekbones start to show, the balance is lost. Hey, Tenshi. I nursed my stepdad to his death early this year. My mom also has stuff going on. I'm adjusting to watching 2 fathers die, one when I was 5, one in January of this year. I lost my soulmate cat of almost 19 years also last year. I spent 6 weeks in hospital due to copious vomiting blood from a Mallory Weiss year, caused by stress of a whole year ripping a hole between my esophagus and stomach. God damn! At the same time, I experienced a severe flare of my mast cell disease, also mitigated by stress, shock, and grief. That's what I am prepared to disclose that has contributed to some weight loss. What do you think of my appearance and how I should look, independently of any circumstances in my life and my family's, is not important. I am trying to survive what feels like unbearable losses. Reactivated PTSD from discovering my very young father's almost dead body as a very young child alone in the night, and working to support the family I have left. The fact you fancy girls who are heavier than I am does not feature in things that are important or relevant. The fact you feel your opinion is required to bully females about their appearance is relevant to me because it needs to stop feeling like it is your or anyone's right. I don't care what your taste in women is. I care that you think any of us need to be apprised of it. Apprised? I don't know what that was supposed to say. I will not address this again. Do better. Read him to filth! Light is not the fastest moving thing in the universe. You're right. The fastest thing in the universe is pseudoscientists running to the comment section to post absolute drivel based on their own lack of understanding. Honestly, a scientific phenomenon, a marvel. Believe what you see, not what you're told. Okay, but I've been told you're a genius, but I've only ever seen you behave like a f***ing moron. Ben wins the internet. Elon got owned! It's true though. That's why likes are private now, because Elon was liking some crazy shit. Trying to justify racism doesn't end well. Have you ever seen white people loot a truck? From 1765 to 1938, the British Empire looted an estimated $45 trillion from India. The British Empire stole so much that one of the very first Indian words to enter the English language was the Hindustani slang for plunder, loot. In this case, I support the metric system. To remember how many feet there are in a mile, you just gotta use 5 tomatoes. 5 tomatoes sounds like 5280. And there's 5,280 feet in a mile. Yeah, to remember how many meters there are in a kilometer, you just remember 1,000. Because the system of measurement in the rest of the world wasn't invented by a drunk mathematician rolling dice. I'll bring my livestock dog. He'll have that thing dead and eaten in one night. Uglies are attracted to ugly. I heard something somewhere about people in glass houses not throwing stones, but whatever. You seem awful confident for someone who looks like he'd struggle with the instructions on a packet of microwave popcorn. Damn. This has been a good batch. Say shit just to say shit. Millennials will never understand, but this used to be the internet. Please shut the fuck up. The oldest millennials are in their 40s now. Not only do we know about card catalogs, we're the ones who navigated the bridge between card catalogs and the birth of internet search. Y'all just say shit just to say shit. We know what these are, dumbass. ADHD's hidden benefits can be awesome. Should we get the book? Yeah, what hidden benefits are there to me staying in one place all day and needing to do schoolwork? What benefits can be found here, Mom? Tell me this. Earnestly, tell me this. Me and my dad casually roasting each other? That nose only comes from alcohol addiction. He was mostly probably using his alcohol to suppress memories of his childhood. Rather like you. I think fathers should also be allowed to complain about an abusive child. Does that mean we have to measure who drinks more to see who had it worse? Yeah, exactly. That's what I propose. Wow, Neil got it all figured out. Almost all armed conflict in the history of the world came about because opposing sides believed different things to be true. Breaking news! Science man suggests conflicts are ultimately caused by disagreement. So what? Trans people should just be allowed to murder whoever they want? Wow, your brain could revolve inside a peanut shell for 1,000 years without touching the sides. That's incredible. Poor guy just wants to eat his chips. My wife makes me chips outside or only when she's not home. Even trying to be quiet, she still gets annoyed. But her favorite videos are watching the porcupine of the zoo eat dried corn on the cob. Makes no sense. Oh yeah, to be fair, she married a human rather than a raccoon at the zoo. Likely for several reasons, but one is probably the expectation that the human wouldn't eat like an animal. Damn, just let him enjoy his chips. Why do women go on about equality but wear clothes showing off a lot of flesh in the shoulder, leg, and often bosom department? Oh, you get no bosom department? It's wonderful to see, but doesn't this negate their attempts at equality? How can women get equal rights if I get an erection from staring at their shoulders? Says Andrew. Showing a lot of flesh in the shoulder, leg, and bosom department. Sounds like something you'd call it. Hello, bosom department. This is Titty speaking. Oh, it sounds so stupid. If this person's not joking, he has a room temperature IQ, and in Celsius, and in Siberia, and in a windowless room in deep winter. Is God trying to tell us something? Yeah, keep your dumb ass in school and learn how science works. PSA, men don't get to decide what's sexist. So, a particular group of people cannot have an opinion on something due to their gender. I am almost positive there's a term for this. What is that? What's that word again? What kind of beer do spiders drink? Bug Light? Yeah, bad joke. Spiders are not bugs, only insects of the order Hemiptera, classified as bugs, and spiders aren't even insects. Maybe if you drank fewer beer and spent more time studying, you would know that, but it's your life. That gave me a stroke to read. They eat bugs, you big dumb bitch. Yeah, exactly. That was the joke. Had to explain it to eat roadkill. Was too busy having a lunch off the side of the interstate to understand what you were talking about. If God made you a male, that's not a mistake. If God made you a female, that's not a mistake. Saying any different is insulting a perfect creator. Read your word. Well, God made you a brunette, yet you are now a blonde. God gave you bad vision, yet you fixed it with glasses. God gave you crooked teeth, yet you straightened them with braces. Trans people change the outside to match the inside just like you do. Sit down. Jesus said to. Kraven the Hunter was delayed to December because Sony believes people will spend the holidays watching it, quote, over and over again. The executives overlooking Sony's film branch are definitive proof that your degree from clown college can be perfectly viable even outside of the circus. Like, look at this. I never saw anyone murdering people screaming Christ is king. Just saying. Funniest thing someone with a Spanish flag emoji could possibly say. I had a Greg's sausage roll for the first time in a long time today. And while it's not bad, I'm left with this question. British people, why did you guys fight so hard and colonize so pervasively for spice and resources if you weren't even gonna use it in your own damn food? Hey, don't you guys do the same thing with democracy? Murdered by statistical probability. Hey, you spelled simp wrong. Hey, a man like you can't be passing on ass, my friend. You need all the help statistical probability can give or you'll be a virgin forever. Okay, I'm gonna say it. I hate when people say they're reading a book, but it's in audible form. No, sir/ma'am, you're actually not reading a book. But you didn't say it. You typed it, hun. You get it now? Going all in on whining. Tim's used to be for the little guy who wanted a quick coffee and a bite. Now they're making pizza and crappy paper lids. I'm done with Tim Hortons until they stop trying to push these woke paper lids that dissolve in your mouth. Wow, good for you. Personally, I would never feel comfortable getting online and whining about this, but you went all in. Most of us have real problems, but not you.
Kamala's so popular. Oh boy, we're starting with something political. Come on! Actors needed at the Phoenix Convention Center. Actors/help needed for event tomorrow from 2 to 11 p.m., $15 per hour. Duties include protest activity and holding signs that are anti-Trump, minorities welcome and needed, looking to fill about 500 spots. Wow. I know that this isn't about that particular listing, but my brain wants to know how much money they'd be spending if they need 500 spots, 2 to 11. That's what? How many hours is that? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, about 10 hours. So 10 hours at $15 an hour times 500 people, they'd be spending around 75 grand if they got all spots filled. Interesting stuff. However, context was added that we should know. It's a digital modification of a false ad that's been circulating since 2017. A tweet from YouTube. You just made food. You're at the table. Laptop open. What are you watching first? I'm gonna watch 2 unskippable ads. Not me, because I got YouTube Premium, and I'm not gonna, listen, I get it, $15.80 a month just to watch things with no ads feels a bit of a shame, especially with what they're doing with ad block and the enhanced bitrate 1080p. It kind of happens with everything, but what I will say, if you primarily consume your media through YouTube like I do, most of what I watch is on YouTube, it's a fantastic investment. It's funny how after the birth of a baby, announcers declare that mother and baby are doing fine. What about the father? Well, usually fathers don't die during childbirth, so I'll assume they're doing great, and we don't really need that. We don't need to know that one. Unless the rare circumstance that they die from shock from standing in the room and watching the process of birth, they're gonna be fine. Bad times make hard men. Hard men make good times. Good times make soft men. Soft men make bad times. We're in bad times. We need men. Hi, Lawrence. Join us on our free app where you can meet all the men you like. Hard, good, soft, or even bad. Ooh. I didn't know you had all of the options. Still can't grow a beard though. Someone needs to tell Elon Musk that the hair transplant, the jawline surgery, and the supplemental testosterone he's talked about are all examples of gender-affirming care. I don't know if he knew that, but they are. So not only has he supported it, he's outright received it. Shout out to my gender-affirming care friends. Musk's daughter Vivian is out for blood. Oh boy, what you got to say, Vivian? I understand your new angle is this Western values Christian family man thing, but it's such a weird choice. You're not a family man, you're a serial adulterer who won't stop lying about your own children. You're not a Christian, as far as I'm aware. You've never stepped foot in a church. You're not some bastion for equality and progress. You called Arabic the language of the enemy when I was 6, have been sued for discrimination multiple times, and are from apartheid South Africa. You're not saving the planet. You don't give a fuck about climate change. And you're lying about multiplanetary civilization as both an excuse and because you want to seem like the CEO from Ready Player One. I would mention the birth rate stuff, but I'm not touching that weird 14 words breeder shit with a 10-foot pole. You single-handedly disillusioned me with how gullible we are as a species, because somehow people keep believing you for reasons that continue to evade me. And you want to know something even crazier than the smackdown we saw here? If I understand this correctly, the line means she wasn't done. She wasn't finished. She had more to say. There are no blue states, just 15 to 20 big blue cities trying to tell the rest of us how to live. And instead of words, we're given a helpful picture diagram. Here's 2 cups filled with water, but then here's the tall glass of water filled with that cup. That one must have more water in it because it's taller, right? No, not true. Big boat for a big dude. What should I name her? Hashtag my new toy. Well, Andy thinks you should call it free throw so you won't ever sink it. Now, Shaq, how do you respond? Don't whiff. Don't whiff. Be kind, they said. Hashtag Paris 2024. But not to women, they meant. It's boxing. They hit each other. That's the whole point. I bet she's shaking in her boots right now because the lady who won and got smeared for no reason, she's suing now. So I think Rowling is shaking and inhaling black mold. Interesting stuff. Censorship is the child of fear, the father of ignorance, and the weapon of tyrants. Cisgender.
Hey, just so you know, this post might violate X's rules against hateful conduct. Just don't say that again. Just not to Elon. People made fun of him for his likes. That's why they're private now for everyone. Don't Don't make him upset. He gets angry. He gets angry and takes it out in the office. We've gone through 3 water coolers. Truly the protector of free speech. Oh, it's an Elon tweet. There it is. In 2030 for making a Facebook comment that the UK government didn't like. Again, cisgender. Did he get called that too many times and now it's against the rules? Jones, over 20 people shot last week. Buttigieg? Then why would we elect leaders who won't do anything about gun violence? J, name one R in charge of Chicago. B, wanna play that game? We could talk about the murder rate in Mississippi being double what it is in Illinois. Oh, the claws are out. My growing post-divorce book collection. Huh, brutal. 15 and already divorced? Kid, that's tough. What books do you have? Oh, it's a lot of, what is this? A lot of manga? Aragon. Oh my God, I remember Aragon. I don't know what books he has, but it's been downvoted. Who would you rather have as a secretary for health? RFK Jr. or Rachel Levine? I would rather the person who's an actual doctor, not the guy who looks like he's gonna pop at any moment. Oh boy, here we go. All right. Zuckerberg admits that the White House pushed to suppress Hunter Biden laptop story and much more. In other words, the 2020 presidential election was rigged. Fox News, New York Post, Representative Laurel Lee, House Judiciary Committee. And another thing, and they'll never tell you this, no one's gonna tell you this, but goblins are real. I saw them, I tell you on Truth Social, I know. Every time I see Trump, I just think of the Zach Hadel bit. Every time where he's like, goblins, ghouls, things that go bump in the night, they're real. Ghosts, no Ghostbusters, they're not there. Oh man, that means it was your own White House, dumbass. You were the president in 2020. Oh no. Never happened. They replaced all of my cabinet. They put brand new cabinets in the White House. My cabinet was gone. It was a great cabinet, the best cabinet. I just had a terrifying thought. What would happen if President Trump wins the election, but on January 6th, Kamala Harris does what President Trump wanted Mike Pence to do? Oh. And in that moment, you understood what it felt like to be on the other side. Welcome. There's a flagpole in the garden of my new pub, and I'm wondering what sort of flag should be flown up there. What's legal nowadays? Oh, any flag except a swastika, which rules out your suggestion in advance. Sorry about that. I knew you had a lot of ideas that involved that, so we're just gonna mark every single one as no-go, just to save us time. Kelif isn't a woman. Wrong. Let's not forget she was disqualified from the Women's World Championships last year for failing gender eligibility tests. Just because the post misgenders doesn't mean I'm going to. I'm not playing that bullshit. I don't play bullshit like political chess, like social politic chess. I hate that on Twitter. It's so stupid. There's nothing sadder on Twitter than a blue check with no followers. And let's not forget that you paid for people to care and we still don't. Sad. Hope you like grok. Hope you're having fun grokking things. Go to the gym, eat protein, pray the rosary, and stop voting for Democrats so that you'll be able to look and think like RFK Jr. when you're 70 years old. I like... It really lost the wheels at the very end there, right? So why did Donald Trump not get that memo? He's 70, he doesn't look like that. Did they not read from the same playbook? What happened? AOC just launched an insurrection. Any violence and rioting is a direct result of Democrat marching orders. I will explain this to you slowly. Exercising our right to protest is not an obstruction of Congress, nor an attempt to overturn democracy. If one were a heinous enough person to do that, they'd likely seek a pardon for it too. But only one of us here has done that, and it ain't me. A little awkward, right? The vibe has just shifted in this conversation. Oh no. If Trump were to win, I wouldn't be able to marry my fiance, like ever. Well, if Kamala were to win, I wouldn't be able to marry my fiance, like ever. Why not? She making it illegal to marry idiots? What happened? When's the primetime hearing on record crime in Democrat-run cities? According to CBS News, out of the top 10 deadliest cities in America, 7 of them are in Republican-run states. Now, follow-up question. Were you one of the members who sought a pardon after January 6th? I didn't. You know, it's really interesting how much Murdered by Words intersects with politics, but it also kind of makes sense since that is basically just blood sports at this point in our history. Maybe it's always been, you know? Maybe politics has always just been like formal blood sports. Show me where Jesus says, love LGBTQ people. I'll wait. Maybe it was one of these places. Love one another, love one another, love one another, love one another. There's a bunch of places where it says this in John, Rom, Thess, Peter. You can just take a look. This loser named @RealDonaldTrump spent a fortune on prime TV airtime during the DNC convention 2024 to show campaign commercials that says, the stock market's at an all-time low. I mean, what do you expect from a dumbass who paid over $130K to not fuck a porn star? Am I right? I don't keep up with politics, so I don't know why this is funny. Is it because his presidency would have caused the crash? Is that why? I don't know. Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. Did she say I love you to him? Or are they Wow, Joey's parents never told him that they loved him. Poor guy. He thinks you only say that if you're That's so unfortunate. He doesn't realize, he doesn't know. Man develops app to reveal what women look like without makeup. Oh, wow. Wow. Men who have actual relationship with women usually know this because they see us without makeup and even naked sometimes. Like, it's crazy what happens when you have actual relationships, right? This New York student won a $250,000 prize for his research on the devastating microorganism which caused the Irish potato famine. Calling the British a devastating microorganism's a little weird, but I'll take it. I guess whatever works, right? Statement on Donald Trump's interview with Elon Musk. Donald Trump's extremism and dangerous Project 2025 agenda is a feature, not a glitch, of his campaign, which is on full display for those unlucky enough to listen in tonight during whatever that was on X.com. Trump's entire campaign is in service of people like Elon Musk and himself, self-obsessed rich guys who will sell out the middle class and who cannot run a live stream in the year 2024. God damn. I will say, Kamala's whole campaign and how it reaches like people around my age is very, very strong. Foo Fighters will be donating royalties from their song My Hero to Kamala Harris's campaign after Donald Trump used the song at one of his rallies without permission. Yeah, the last time Foo Fighters were relevant, Bill Clinton was showing Monica Lewinsky his cigar collection in the Oval Office. So why did he play a song of theirs at the Trump rally? Are you suggesting the Trump campaign is outdated and out of touch, perhaps? Is that... Vince, a little clarification, is that what you meant? Kamala Harris promising to secure the border is like O.J. Simpson promising to find the real killer. Tom, you voted against the border bill. So in your analogy, you're O.J. The call comes from within the House. Dudes who vote for Kamala Harris pee sitting down. Dudes who vote for Trump think about how other dudes pee. So think about that real quick. How come nobody's even talking about the fact that President Trump was shot and almost killed less than 1 month ago? This is very upsetting to me. Hey, we gave thoughts and prayers. Do you want something more? That's all you guys do. If your girl proposes to you, especially during the Olympics, you're cooked. There's nothing more emasculating than a woman proposing. Hey guys, it's gay to be loved by a woman. Just so we're clear, if you think being loved by a woman is a straight activity, you're wrong. You're so wrong. It's gay only. If I ever had to pick a religion to go with, Satanists don't believe in a literal Satan. Then what do you call people who believe in a literal Satan? Christians? I believe that's who does that actually. We will never rewrite the Constitution of the United States. If there wasn't a rewrite, you wouldn't be a senator and also couldn't vote. And I'd be enslaved, so we will rewrite and we have. It's happened. If Kamala really is black, have her say the N-word. Let the people decide for themselves. What? Hey Kevin, if you're an actor, please land a role so we know. Just we're getting kind of confused here. We don't know for a fact, right? I mean, you say it, but are you? It's so sad how IVF is being normalized. If you can't get pregnant, find out why, instead of injecting yourself with more drugs. Just say you don't know what IVF is. It's a lot shorter. Just it helps you out in the long run. Conservative tries to hit all the hot buttons, gets slaughtered. My mom worked as a waitress until she was 73 to help pay for our college, even help with loan repayment. Loan forgiveness just another insult to those who play by the rules. You graduated Dartmouth in 1985. Your mother died in 1999. From 1985 to 1999, you worked as a presidential speechwriter and editor, and after law school in 1991, clerked for U.S. Circuit Judge and was an associate for one of the largest law firms in the country. Yet you let your mother work as a waitress and depended on her to help you pay your loans until her death. Either you are a horrible person or a liar. I'm going to go with both. It's a fun little twist at the end. When they keep telling you that you're threatening free speech for advocating for free speech, we're 3 for 3 with this. We're 3 for 3 with this, Elon. How long until you're thrown into prison for saying Merry Christmas? Hey, remember when you lot used to throw people in prison or burn them at the stake for saying the sun is the center of the solar system? Don't bring your persecution complex to the table, given your history, Babbitt. My mom taught me how to treat a woman, but I've never heard a dad teach their daughter how to treat a man. I mean, I bought my daughter a taser and showed her your picture, and that should do it. Has anyone mentioned that the police will leave you alone if you don't do illegal stuff? I just thought you should know that, right? I thought you should know Breonna Taylor was sleeping. Is there anything illegal about that? Was she snoozing past curfew? I grew up in Scotland. I trained as a tabloid reporter in Glasgow. Don't tell me what tough looks like. Hey, dude, you went to the same school as the king. Like, what are you talking about? I'll take conservative, freedom-loving Hollywood any day. James Woods, John Voight, Christy Swanson, Gina Carano, Elizabeth Hasselbeck, Joy Villa, Kevin Sorbo, Tim Allen, Dean Cain, Ted Nugent, Dennis and Randy Quaid, Antonio Sabato Jr., Scott Baio, Gene Simmons, and Tom Selleck? Oh, wow. That's a lot of names. You better buy a VHS player then. It's the only way you're going to see them. The one thing workers want is higher real wages. But in Biden's economy, no luck. In 2021, every single Republican senator voted against raising the minimum wage. No luck. Jesus Christ. Under an article complaining about windmill construction. Oh no! Renewable energy? Drill, baby. Drill. Who cares, right? You get cheap fossil fuels, gas prices stay low, and you and your generation die before having to feel the repercussions. Yeah, drill. You sound like a wuss. Get real. The world survived for generations, but hey, you can fall for John Kerry's BS as he jet sets privately around the world, milking suckers like you. The guy's got private jets and 8 homes. You're a sucker. And you sound like a hateful, scared man inching closer to the grave. And every day that the world moves away from the regressive way it looked when you and your generation were relevant, you lash out at the people your political party tells you are responsible. Because you're not a free thinker, Tom. You are a sheep. You look to a man as unintelligent and frozen in the past as you are, and you call his refusal to empathize strength, as you desperately cling to the hope that you can stop progress. But soon you're gonna be gone, Tom. Real soon. And nobody will miss you. Nobody. Except for maybe the drill. The wings aren't even that good. Alpha males eat wings and drink beer at Hooters with the boys. Beta males nibble on tapas at Spanish vegan cafes with their wives. As a former Hooters girl, I can assure you only betas who like to think they were alpha males ate there. And we all laughed when you left. Especially because you were a shitty tip, too. So. Oh man, how crazy, huh? A story in 2 images. Hunger Games. The common folk resisted the rich, arrogant, fascist tyrants, similar to the French Revolution. Star Wars. The Rebel Alliance rose up against the dogmatic kindness is a weakness religion that controlled the military-industrial complex. The Matrix. The common folk rejected a futuristic super overlord AI mastermind that turned them into batteries. Divergent. Chicago has 5 different stereotypes. If you don't fit into any, or divergent, you'll be an outsider. V for Vendetta. An autocratic fascist society with a dictator rulership gets overthrown by a masked avenger/anarchist with a passion for using the letter V in references bombing the English Parliament. In nearly every story listed here, it's about the small and weak resisting the mega corporations, arrogant narcissist dictators, religious, cults of personality that through megalomania want to rule the world. What side exactly do you honestly consider yourself belonging to? I don't know. Feels like an obvious choice, right? The side that's not the long list of words that want to rule the world.